welcome along and welcome back to Attingham Park. Today we are going to be trying to get as far ahead on getting the winter wheat in as we can. It's a very wet and windy day here near Attingham Park, and it's just, yeah, we've got to crack on. I'm hoping the weather isn't going to last too long. We don't want the ground too wet while we're doing this job. Thankfully, it looks like, in fact, it's clearing up right now, which is brilliant. So we are going to find out where this tractor left off. Interestingly, what is that? That is an extra row at the end here that looks like we've got... yeah, growing canola in this field. That's odd. This here as well is wheat. So why we have a strip of growing canola here, I don't know. That's very, very weird. Let's have a look at the map and see what's going on. Yeah, we have a weird strip of growing canola in the middle of this field that we probably need to sort out. Yeah, there's a whole load of growing canola in this field. I don't know if we're going to be able to go over the top of that. It's a very weird strip in the middle. We did not plant that, interestingly enough. Right, let's see if then we can get down here and get this sorted. Which way do we want to go? Yeah, we want to be up at this end. I think we finished up at this end last time. It's got no nitrogen in it either. That's so weird. I've had this in a couple of maps now where we've had phantom crops or crops just growing strangely in the middle of other stuff. So it could be just that's causing this. But we do have this set up, and this is a direct seeder. So let's go nearest waypoint and away. And yep, that is now planting the wheat into here. And yeah, it's going to take about half an hour-ish real time to get this done. So that should be plenty of time for us then to get on to field 12C and get that done. I'm just intrigued by this random strip of canola that's sitting in the middle of our field. In fact, more than that, we've got random bits of canola all over this field. Where has all this canola come from? So I'm going to let that get on with the job for a bit, let that get the wheat in there, and hopefully that will clear up the issue with the canola and get that all sort of turned over in it. And I'm guessing it's leftover canola seed. Meanwhile, we are heading it down here to field 6 in the 8340, and we're going to get this going. I'm going to get the roller onto field 2B a little later on. Once we get the once the field is going for a little bit, we'll be able to get that going and give. I want to give the seeder a good head start first. And so, yeah, that gives us plenty of time to be doing this job here and getting rid of the weeds in our fields that we planted the previous 2 days. So we've got field 6 up here at the top, which is the first one we need to get done. We've also got field... I think we've got... which other fields do we have, actually, is a good question. Where do we have stuff growing? Where do we have weeds, actually, is a good shout. So turn everything off. 2C needs doing, and 6. So yeah, we have 2 fields that we need to do weeds in today. We also have the patch in the middle of 2B that needs weeding as well. So yeah, if we can get the patch in the middle of 2B done too. Although I don't know, if it goes another day, we might be all right. We might be able to get away with it. Otherwise, we're just going to have a patch in the middle of field 2B that's got some fairly big weeds in it. So we'll see how that goes. At the moment, though, we're looking pretty good. We should be able to get through this field and get all of these weeds done. And at the moment, we're looking fairly clear. So if I can get this clear and get 12 to be seeded today, we're going to be on a good start. And then it's all going to be about 12C until we can get that all cleared. I really like this hoe. It's a fantastic mod. It's off the mod hub. And what's it called? Oh yeah, it's the car. So there's a whole load of weeders and hoes in the car pack on the mod hub. And for this, it's absolutely perfect. So if you are direct seeding in Farm Sim, and you are using precision farming especially, you'll find that you get medium wheat straight off from direct seeding. Now, if you're not using the spot spraying, which can be fairly expensive, you're gonna want to get a hoe instead of a weeder. And while there is a base game hoe, it's not particularly big. So that's why I went for this, found this on the mod hub. And yeah, there's a whole pack of car equipment on there, and this is just absolutely perfect for what we're doing on here. Gets rid of the weeds really easy and really quickly. And let's go this way so we're not looking directly into the sun. And yeah, it does this job really, really well. I wish we'd had this the first year when we ended up with that field full of weeds in our wheat. I really like the patchy weeds in Farming Simulator 22. So much more realistic than it was in FS19, and there's a large enough concentration of them to make it worthwhile doing this job, which is what I really love. It's not so saturated with weeds as to be ridiculous, but at the same time, you've got these patches of weeds just all over the field that are gonna wreak havoc with your yields as you go across, and as a result, it does make weeding a job that's worthwhile. Also, I love the in precision farming, the environmental score. The whole idea that you can get extra money for dealing with your weeds properly is absolutely brilliant. We don't quite get as much doing it this way as if we did the spot spraying, but we do still get a nice boost to our income thanks to dealing with the weeds this way and not dealing with them by doing a massive spray with herbicide. So yeah, I like that. I like the different facets that there are to FS22 weed setup. And how it all affects things, and how doing all of these things on your farm is really worth doing in FS19, whereas in FS22, whereas FS19 it wasn't always worth it. I remember even especially with seasons in FS19. I'm getting my games continually mixed up. In FS19. You just basically sprayed the field at your earliest opportunity, and it got rid of any weeds, and it had no effect, and it just made the weeders pointless. In FS22, the weeders actually are functionally a good thing to have on your farm, and with the addition of the spot sprayers, actually it also makes sprayers a worthwhile thing having on your farm. So it's all about what your personal preference for doing things are, whether you are running like I am here a farm with older equipment, or whether you are you know, going with the latest technology, as I have done on things like the realism experiment, where we are using the spot sprayer, and I love that variation. I love that every farm that I have in this game is slightly different to any other farm I have, and that's not just down to the map, that is also down to the equipment choices and how I look to farm it. Time is approaching midday, and we are getting into the fiddly part of the field, I'm actually quite happy that we seem to be left to get on with this. Our seeder seems to be away and just doing stuff and hasn't run out of either seed or fertilizer. It was fairly well stocked when we left it, so hopefully that's going to finish in the not too distant future though, because we really need to get cracking with field 12C. It is our biggest field on the farm, and we need to knock it out, especially as we need to get the roll around it as well. And of course, we've got to go and set the roller up doing 2B as well. Otherwise, that's not going to catch up in time. So yeah, lots to do. I might end up getting a second set of rollers, because what we could do is have one tractor just running the rollers on 12C all of tomorrow, and then get a second one with a set of rollers just following behind the seeder on field 1, which is the next field that's going to have to be seeded after that. And that way we should hopefully get everything rolled in plenty of time tomorrow as well. But we'll see how we go. A set of rollers is not expensive, so we could do that fairly easily and not worry about it too much. This field here, though, is almost done, so I'm going to knock out this last little bit at the corner and head back up to the main farm. Back down to the main yard, and there's our next problem. We have just a single bag of fertilizer. Wow, we've only got 78 litres of fertilizer in that. We've got 1,053 litres of the seeds. Which field is next for weeding? That's going to be 2C. So we'll take this over there. We'll check on what's going on with field 2B. He does seem to be fairly well into it, which is good. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to sell a crop today as well, because that would be very useful. In fact, yeah, he is on the headland. He's just finishing off. So that's really good news. We'll be able to get that transferred over to 12C soon. And it looks like he's not going to run out of... Well, he might run out of seed or fertilizer before then. But while he's in that corner, let's just hop in here and have a look. Yeah, he's about to run out of fertilizer. So we have got an issue there we need to go and fix. So let's get a hired worker on this field here. We want to, generate that. That has no headlands. Let's generate that, and sharp in the corners. Generate that. There we go. That's much better. And we want to start up the top corner. So let's take this up there. Get this working at the first waypoint. We'll actually not go on the field itself. I need to replant all this sort of scrub land between these fields with some grass, I think. We'll see what happens when we get some money in. That seems incredibly thin. Nope, it is... nope, that is right. Okay, so away you go. Turn it onto the blue so that we can see exactly where it's going, and we'll leave it to it. So this then begs the question, is there anything that we can sell? Because, yeah, our seeder has run out. What have we got? So we've got a whole load of wheat. Best price for wheat is $7.25. So no. Canola, best price for that is 1,246. 1,265 at the old watermill. So yeah. Canola has hit best price. We're not expecting it until... Nope, we're expecting it this month. So, yeah, let's go and sell that. We'll check the sorghum as well. That is $9.41. So, today we've got 2 truckloads of canola we can go and sell. And having sold those, we'll be able to go and make some extra... we'll be able to go and buy some more fertilizer and some more seed, which is good news. So let's just take this under here. We'll fill this up with the canola and we'll take it down to the mill. I actually find myself kind of surprised with how well we're doing and how well we're managing to get crops in. I'm a little bit unhappy that I've got a seeder sitting there, and I think we're going to have to dump this and get back to the yard as quickly as possible in order to go and get some fertilizer. It's going to be quite nice how much we make off this. I'm expecting about 38,000 in total, plus whatever environmental score we get over the top as well. And in fact, it's surpassing that 42, 43, 44,000. 38,031 is what we got in total for it. Plus 4,500, 4,600 in environmental score reward. That is a massive amount of money off just one trailer full of canola. Brilliant. We can go back, we can buy some fertilizer, get our seeder running again, and then we'll come and sell a second lot. So we'll get our truck back here round to our grain store and get that emptied. Just want to check that we somehow have still got some sorghum in here. Well, let's empty out the remaining canola. Oh, it won't be all the remaining canola, and then we'll get this down to the shop and go and grab another bag of fertilizer so that we can get back out to the field with it and get that restarted. It's been a little bit of time since that was stopped. That seeder was stopped, so I don't want to leave it standing there much longer, because that time is a wasting. So for now, we're going to grab just 2 big bags of the fertilizer, and we've been using the nitram, so let's grab 2 of those. Buy that. Not a huge cost to us straight off at the moment, but should be enough to keep us going for a little while. And then we can come back and get a whole lot more a little bit later. Knowing how much has got used on the field we're on at the moment is actually going to be quite useful. Well, actually, I don't think it is, because where we are at the moment is not silty clay, which is what we're going to be doing next. So yeah, it might not be. Right, we're going to put these on the back because it's really the only spare space I've got. Load them on, back it off, and yeah, we need to get this back down to the field. There we go. We just need to get this trailer parked. I'm actually just going to park it outside the field here. So like that. Drop that off. And spin around and grab the bag off the back. Only going to need 1 of these to finish. I think we'll go and buy 4 more bags. And probably a couple of bags of seeds. We're going to need more seeds on the silty clay than we have on the loam that we're currently seeding on. Right, let's pop up here, open this up, and then lift this up. We can get this going again. Like that. And yeah, this will fill this up. We will then top it up before we send it over to 12. So we'll top both the amount of fertilizer and the amount of seeds that we've got in it up. Get that working on that next field. And then we're all good. And we want to get the roller going on here then. And rolling the areas that we haven't yet. Nearest waypoint. And away you go. Get the rest of this field done. Oh, let's close that. So as I mentioned before, now that that's nearly done, I kind of want to see if we can get this running with the roller behind and get the field rolled. Now its course should still be there. So let's turn it all on. That is just start and end. I want everything. Yeah, there we go. So we do still have the course on here. I don't know exactly where this ended. So we can check. Does have a little bit more of an overlap than the cedar. I think it's a little bit wider than the cedar. So yeah, looking at this, we want to get this rolling down this area here. It's going to roll a little bit of crop that we've previously done, but that should have no effect on it. So first waypoint, or nearest waypoint, and away you go. And yeah, we did get all of this patch that we previously did rolled in last time. So that's all good. And yeah, it's having no effect on the existing stuff that we planted. It's just rolling in the seeds that we have just planted. And that means we can get back in our truck and take another 30,000 litres of canola down to the sell point at the old mill. So bring it around and in. And yeah, this probably our biggest amount of money we'll make this year is from these. We did sell off, I think it was, we sold off some sorghum early on, didn't we? A little bit below price. So this will make up for that a little bit. We'll get this all sold. So back it up and we will tip it right there. And while we were down there tipping that, which we made 38,000 plus, yeah, so another 83,000, the cedar has finished. And I couldn't wait to get back and get it loaded up and get it started. We'd already lost a load of time today, so let's get this going. Yeah, we want to fill this up with first empty the bags that we have that are partial ones. So we've got that partial one there and that partial one there. We'll get them loaded up, and then with those cleared off, we will top up with the others. It won't be enough to do the whole field. We already know that. What it should be enough, though, is to get us nicely started. May even be enough to get us through the rest of today. There we go. Really weren't many seeds in that at all. Yeah, if it's enough to get us through the rest of today, we should be able to then, first thing in the morning, go and pick up some more seeds. Or we might go and actually do this evening. Go pick up some more seeds, go pick up some more fertilizer, maybe 4 bags of each, possibly. We're not getting through the seeds quite as quickly as we're getting through the fertilizer. So yeah, maybe go and pick up maybe 3 bags of seeds and 4 bags of fertilizer, something like that. And then get that should get us through the next day, I'd have thought. Hopefully, if we're lucky. And then we will we'll get it all rolled. As I said, we will likely have to get a second roller. I think that might be worth doing anyway, just to follow round, get the rolling done a little bit quicker and clean everything up. All right, last big bag. Again, I don't think it'll take all of this one, but we'll see what happens. And then we'll be able to go back and yeah, get the extra bags we need. So with our cedar now full, what we want to do is clear the current course that we have on here and get get the wheat into this end field. So bring it up. We've got no mystery crop in here, I don't think. Right, we need to go with course. 3 headlands, no multiple tools, sharp, yes, and correct fields. Generate me a course. That is slightly wonky, so we're going to go with the manual and at 90 degrees. So there, and generate that again. That's got it. It does a little bit of a weird thing with this. It starts it there, goes there, and then back. Yeah, it's a little bit of a strange setup. It doesn't like the little bit at the edge, which, in all fairness, we could possibly just remove, because it's in a position that doesn't really aid us, and this is a very big field. My start point, though, should be up. There it is. Up this top corner here. So we've got full seed, full fertilizer. We probably are in a fairly good place, I think, with the fertilizer levels. We could probably reduce it slightly, actually. So let's do that. I think it would be fine if we reduced it a smidge. First waypoint, and close all of those up, and away we go. And yeah, I think that's going to do all right. Seems to be about the right level of fertilizer. We are going to eat through the seeds on here, though. That is really hard. Our weeder has finished its work, so I'm going to clear the course off that and get that back up to the farm. Again, not much more for this to do. I don't think we really have any weeds in that section there. Do we in field 2B? Oh, we do. We do have some weeds. Okay, we'll just hop across to this field, clear that up quickly. And that way we're guaranteed we're not going to be giving ourselves a headache next time. Because it's possible that the weeds in this patch that we did in October could cause us an issue. So we might as well weed this section here. We're going to weed the whole field later. But this section here, having grown as much as it has, we want to clear the weeds out of. And it's getting dark really, really early now. It's only 10 past 5, and the sun is very much setting. The roller we're going to leave going. That will go into the early evening, but should complete the job that it's doing there. It would be nice for the seeder to get a bit of the way into field 12C, but it looks like it's not going to get as far as I would have hoped today. So that is going to be quite a struggle. I think if we're looking at taking a long time to get field 12C done, then yeah, we're going to have to get another seeder in order to get field 1 done as well. Do we have 3 fields left to go? I don't think we do we? No, we've only got 2 fields left to go. We've got 12C and we've got field 1. The rest, everything else, which is 2A, 12B, and 3, is going to be sorghum come the new year. And in fact, we might mix it up with another crop if we get more fields, if we have enough money to buy another field. So yeah, we're okay, we're good. We are finished with the weeder though, so that's good news. And as the sun is setting, we're kind of losing light. Today we are heading down to field 12C. We're taking the last of our seeds and the last of our fertilizer down there. We're gonna get our seeder continuing on doing 12C. We need to get the last of the winter wheat in on here. And there's quite a lot of 12C left to go. If we have a quick look at what's planted here, you can see how far we got on 12C at the end of yesterday. So the rest of 12C to do and field 1 to do today. So quite a bit left to get done. And that is all going to be winter wheat as well. So winter wheat needs to go into those 2, which is perfect. And then that will just leave 12B, 3, and 2A, which all needs to be planted in the new year with the sorghum that we're going to be harvesting next year. So we're looking fairly well ahead. We're doing pretty well at the moment. We are in an interesting position at the moment where we don't have enough money to buy another field. Certainly on this side of the river. My next targeted fields really are 13 and 14. They will make up a big section of this farm. I'm very tempted to sell off field 6 to buy them though. It's quite a lot of field that's there and would work quite well. The trouble is that field 6 is one of our winter crop fields. We got I think canola in there last time. Yeah, so we've got canola in field 6 this year for that. But field 14 is already planted and it looks like it's planted with, is that winter wheat? Yeah, this is winter wheat in 14. So I might just try and work to get the most out of field 14 and see if we can afford it next year. There we go. So last of the seeds. So neither of these are full bags. We do have some money, so we're going to go and purchase some more seed and some more fertilizer. I think we probably need about 6 bags of seed and 3 bags of... about 6 bags of fertilizer and maybe 3 or 4 bags of seed. So that should do us fairly well. And yeah, we're going to go from there. I also want to look at possibly selling stuff off from the gardens again. We're trying to empty out the gardens and we have a huge amount of crops still sitting in there, especially the upper one, the one we're trying to well, we just need to clear out a garden to sell it, and yeah, we're working our way through that, so we need to go and check on those today and see when the best time to sell the crops we have in there is. But this we can just leave getting on with this. There's not a huge amount of fuel in this tractor. So I think next time it runs out of seed, we're probably going to have to run it up to the main farm. Nearest waypoint and crack on. So that is now heading off for that. And I'm going to go and get the roller next to start rolling this field in as well. Yeah, this is the only tractor I actually refilled last night. And as a result, it is the only tractor that has a full fuel tank on here. The 7810 is at some point going to have to return to the yard to get refueled. Maybe we switch over tractors at that point and get things sorted that way. This, we don't want to go all the way across the field yet. We're looking to set up a course. So let's just back this up to here. There we go. And set up our course. As always with this, it's quite nice doing several fields in a row with the same tractor because they all get set up, but that's all good. So we'll close that and come out of here, get into forward gear and go and set this off in the corner. And I'm quietly confident of this at the moment. We are in a fairly good place. As long as we can keep these tractors running, we should be all right. So let's unfold the roller and first waypoint is set up. So away it goes. Down goes the roller and this is off. So let's head up to the shop and grab ourselves some more supplies. We're just going to pull in on our way up to the shop though and refuel this because it really needs it. So plenty of fuel still in our tank. We've still got 800 odd litres. These tractors are not overly thirsty, so that's really good news. We could really do with a fuel bowser for when we've got the combines out across the farm as well. And just to make sure that we can fuel those up, that would be really useful. Those are our gardens. They've still got quite a bit of water in them, which means that they're still producing quite a bit of crop out of them. I have picked up a conveyor that should help us load them this time. So when we get into December, we're probably going to switch over and grab that and see how that works and see if we can raise some extra money for field 14. If we can get 14 this year with the wheat in it, with the winter wheat, that would be perfect, because then that goes into the rotation rather nicely next year, and we can probably divide it up into a couple of smaller fields. Now, as always, I'm not going to use this to load these up. We can load up much quicker if we use the forklift down here. We'll park this up and head into the shop. First thing I want to check out is there anything in here that's of use to us? That is possibly, but we don't have a tractor unit to go on the front of it. The Pottinger Alpine would be quite useful if we weren't baling. Otherwise, yeah, there's nothing there of any great use. So let's head into the big bags, and we want 6,000 litres of this. So 6,000 litres of the Nitram. We'll take, 6 of these we'll get through, especially as we're going to be doing a loam filled field in a bit. So yeah, we're going to need 6 of those, and we're going to need about half as much, especially doing a loam field, of the seeds. So we're going to go Anglia grain seeds, and we'll take 3 of those. We're using a high amount of seeds at the moment, but the moment we get onto a loamy field, we'll be using a lot less seed. So we'll buy that as well. Okay, so that takes us down to 66,000. And I just need to get these loaded up onto the trailer. So for that, we're going to be using the fabulous Teletruck and trying to get the weight towards the back. We want to try and even things in the loading up of this as much as possible, and make it as easy for this little tractor to move as we can. Otherwise, we're going to have to put that extra bag of Anglia seed onto the front just to offset the weight of the trailer. We'll get these last 2 seed bags onto here, and we'll see whether that is pushing the front of the trailer down. And if it is, that's going to start lifting the front wheels off the ground for the tractor, which is what we're really trying to avoid. That looks actually not too bad. It is a little bit rear heavy. It's partly because we've got this weight on the back of the tractor, which we need if we're lifting those. So we'll just get these on here. And going by where the fulcrum is on this, we might be able to get this single bag right on the back to even things out. It would probably work better on the front of the tractor, but I'd rather get it all on the trailer. So we'll put this last bag right on the back, and hopefully that will then lift the back of the trailer, push the back of the trailer down a little bit, which will lift the front and then should push the front wheels of the tractor back onto the ground. So that there and that there. Right, and loading it all across the wheels should even things up. We'll see how this drives in a minute. But I think that is loaded up well enough, and we can put the JCB away. So will this turn without too much hassle? Yeah, that's nice and stable. So that is the way to load this up. The only time I really feel the need to put a big bag on the front of this is if I've got the trailer fully loaded. And that way it really is pushing down on the back, and you've got no steering control on the front. Wow, I've driven into the yard and I really don't have any traction on the front now. That's crazy. It's much lower. But yeah, it is lifting the back off, despite the fact that the trailer is very obviously lifting at the front of it. There is very little traction on the front of this tractor at the moment. I'm having to be a little bit careful on exactly how fast I go, especially when it comes to turning corners. Turning into the yard, it was really horrible. The whole thing sort of tried to jackknife. So we're just slowing down as I come to corners, just to give me that extra little bit of traction as I turn. And that then has got us down to the field. We'll park this well out of the way. We've got an area down here. At some point, I want to build a road down to this point. I think it would be really useful to have. But we can sit this here now and leave this tractor here. so that when our seeder eventually empties, we can come back down here. I'm going to bring the 8340 down, get that fueled up, and put it onto the tractor. In fact, that needs refilling. So as time is of the essence, and we need to keep the seeder running as well as possible, I'm going to switch over tractors so that we can get this on the seeding job. I've not got any joules on it, so it's not fully set up for this work, but it should be able to do this fine. The 7810 is actually slightly more powerful than the 8340. I think the 7810 has like 135 horsepower, whereas this has 125. Both should be able to do this, but this is this seeder, and I don't think with this on it I'm gonna be able to get it detached. Yep, I can't do that because this seeder needs some work. So I have disabled manual attach. So let's detach this, start this up, and move it out the way. Yeah, I don't like disabling manual attach. I would rather, I'd rather have this work. And I have an idea for altering this mod. So the way this mod works at the moment is that, and the reason why it doesn't detach is because this arm here is on mouse control, and therefore manual attach can't work out when the cables are attached and when they aren't. So my thought was switch the mouse control on this for the mouse control on unfolding these wheels and have it go that way and see if we can get that to work. So if anybody knows how I might be able to do that, how that might work, please let me know in the comments. I really want to get this switched around so that I don't have to disable one of my favorite mods every time I want to attach and detach this seeder, because yeah, it's really annoying. Now, of course, the other problem we got is there is no course on this. So let's come over to here. Let's copy this course. And then over here, we can copy the course to here. Right. And then, of course, the problem we've got is that this needs refilling. So we'll take that down. It is seeds that it's out of, but I'm probably going to do both. So let's head back over this way. Let's get the seeds and the fertilizer into that and get that started again, so that we don't end up with the roller catching it up. Seeds first, get them off, load them into the seeder, fertilizer next, and we'll take that up there, load that into the seeder next. And with that full, we can close this up, jump into here, nearest waypoint, and away it goes. Seeding, yep, a full set of wheat and a full set of fertilizer. And with that going, we can get the 7810 back up to the farm. I might give it a quick wash down as well, because that will do its repair levels fairly well. But it also needs filling up with fuel. Wow, that was down to double digits. So I think I'm going to need to order some more fuel for the year in a bit. But as we got this up here, and as it is covered in mud, let's give this a wash. And then when we take it back down to the field and get it running again next time everything runs out, we'll be in a good place. Yeah, the 8340, that is more our weeding tractor and setting up for that kind of thing. So I want to use that for that kind of thing and not put the hours on it for this. So, right, I'm going to get this back down to the field, and next time the seeder empties, we'll get it switched over. So while our seeders are going along nicely, I thought we'd pop up here and actually have a look at these gardens. So let's have a look at the production menu for this. So this garden here, we currently have working through corn, seeds, and solid fertilizer. We've got 43 litres of seeds left in it, and 385 litres of of fertilizer. And yeah, we have nearly 45,000 liters of corn in this one. So I want to sell this off. This is more corn than we can possibly use for our pigs. Yeah, this is all going to be selling off corn in this garden here. In the other garden over this way, we are doing sunflowers and corn, and we have in here a grand total of 22,000 litres of corn and 7,000 litres of sunflowers, which is absolutely fine. That's kind of what we're after. Again, we're trying to use up all the solid fertilizer in here, and it should use all of that up. It's 1 seed to 1 fertilizer and 24 water. So yeah, we're all good for this. So this is currently our feed production for our pigs. So all of this corn will go into our pigs. For food-wise, at the moment, the pigs are actually not doing too bad. Although, they do need a whole load of both protein and fertilizer. So, protein and base food, which is what our 2 sets of feed in here is. So, yeah, well, we've got that down there. Let's get a forklift out and produce some of this. Let's output a whole load of corn. How much can we put out? Wow, we can output 23 pallets of that. So I'm going to output 5 pallets of that. So for 5, so 5,000 liters. Those should appear here. Let's go and get our, well, probably actually our little Ford. Now, I wonder if we've got a weight hanging around the farm somewhere that I can apply to this. I'm not sure we have, you know. I think it might be a case that we have to pop up to the shop and grab something. Let's have a look in our inventory. What have we got in the way of weights in here? I don't see any weights. Wow. Do we not have any weights at all? We must have, because we've got one on the back of it. There we are. So we do have a 10-week weight kicking around here that's 1,000 pins. Or we've got one of those. We could go and buy another one. I don't know where that weight is. So looking on my map, we'll disable everything except for tools, which should show me where everything is. There's a lot of stuff around this yard, but there's the weight. So that looks like it's in the shed next to the pallet fork. So we'll pop into here and grab this. This makes this the perfect little yard tractor, and I'm so pleased that we haven't just got rid of it and we've kept it hanging around, because we've used it a couple of times recently, just to sort of when everything else is tied up. It's great to get this out and use it for a couple of little jobs, and as for something to just grab some feed from our gardens to go and feed our pigs with. It's absolutely perfect. The big question will be, is it going to pick up these without issue? And how many of these is it going to pick up? So certainly we should have enough weight on the back of here to pick up 1. If I can take 2, that's going to half the amount of time this job takes. And so under that, yep, the weight on the back gives me enough to not wheelie when I have 2 of these, which is perfect. So yeah, I'm kind of pleased. I've found a job for this little tractor to do on the farm that works really well for us. It just is a little pigging tractor, and this should make a big difference to our pigs. Yeah, 2,000 liters in there. That's good. They do eat a lot of that early on, so yeah, we want to keep doing this and keep getting this done here. I also want to really fill up a trailer with this stuff, so that's another reason for getting a conveyor that we can load stuff from the gardens with. So I'm going to output 3 of the sunflowers as well, so we'll output 3 pallets of those. And that way we can take those and dump them in there, and that will get that going as well. I think we're actually going to end up putting most of the corn that we have in these two into the pigs this year, and just having it sit there for ages, and then yeah, output everything else we need on a fairly regular basis. Use a conveyor to fill a trailer from it, and just keep the pigs fed. I think that is going to be a much better way of doing this. Final 2 crates for now into the pig feed, and that is going to keep them going for a little while. So that is yeah, they've got 4,000 liters of base, nearly 5,000 liters of base food, nearly 4,000 liters of protein. That is good, and that will keep them going. We've got some 6-month-old. What is our oldest pigs? I think we might be at a point. Wow, we have so many pigs now. 1 month, 6 months, 21 months. We could possibly sell the 21-month-old pigs. There we go. Yeah, 21-month-old pigs are actually worth nearly 500 a piece. And we've got 16. So there, yeah, that's, you know what? That's nearly 16,000 that we have from those. In fact, with the environmental score, should be 16,000 for those pigs. So our pigs will finally start making us some money after all this time. Coming up to 3 in the afternoon, and my 2 tractors have sort of been doing a dance around the field, avoiding each other up to this point. And you know, it's the first time. 3 in the afternoon, just about, yeah, 5 to 3, and the Cedar has run out of seeds. It's finally got itself onto the headland, thankfully, but we are running out of time. I'm not too concerned. If we do not get this done today, then what we'll be doing is putting in some spring, probably some spring wheat for the final field. We do have time that we can get it done. It means it'll be harvested a little bit later and make our whole... Back it off. Making our whole setup... it'll push back our harvesting of it, which isn't great. I mean, I'd like to get this all in as winter wheat, but with field 12 taking us, or 12C taking as long as it is, we're hard pushed to actually get it done, and we do actually have that option. So get that going again. I was going to switch over tractors at this point, but I think we'll do it at the end of the field, simply because the amount of time this is taking, it worries me. And anything that we can do to turn this round quicker, we want to do. The Cedar is out again, and this time it is the fertilizer. So let's grab a bag of that off the trailer. Like that. And I've very much come to conclusion now. It's 4 in the afternoon. The Cedar is only just finishing off this field. So it's got the last of the headland to go. The roller definitely isn't going to be finished before sunset at this rate. It's about to start. I think it's about to start on its headlands as well. And as a result, we're in a position where if I was to start the seeding today and we did actually get the winter wheat into field 1, we would still not be able to get the we'd still not be able to get it rolled. So I think that's what we're going to do. Looking at the calendar though, March, we can get some spring wheat in March. It'll be a September harvest for it, but we should be okay. And then we can get the sorghum in nice and early in April in our 3 fields that have that. And then maybe get a nice August harvest for that. So we'll see how things go. But I think we're going to have an interesting setup. That's intriguing. That has not filled that. I don't want to leave that open too long because I don't want to get my fertilizer wet. There we are. Yeah, it kind of swings out. So, yeah, we'll get this finished off. We'll then not worry about getting field 1 done. We'll get some spring wheat into that. And then that will give us a much better standing. Start you up. Back you off a little bit. Right, and nearest waypoint, away you go. Oh, and we'll close up those covers as well. Hopefully. Will that let me do that from out here? Yeah, there we are. So close those up. Let this finish off. And that'll be it for the winter. And then we have to weed less as well over December. We'll just have the 2 fields to do. I've got the trailer of seeds and everything back here. I'm just going to give this a quick wash down and refuel. Make sure that we keep it nicely up to date. The seeder should be finishing any minute. The light is definitely fading at this point. And we don't want to go too far into it. We'll leave the roller going because that will just finish off. That is also on its headlands now too. Is that clean? It's hard to see in this light. That is not. There we go. That is our weight cleaned off, and just need to do the front hook as well. But I'm actually quite pleased today that this little tractor here, I think, is going to be a great little tractor for feeding our pigs and doing all the pig stuff with. And this one here is going to be much more for filling big bags and doing all that kind of stuff with, and possibly when we get to it, doing manure as well. So that's 2 tractors all done and away for the day, and looks like our seeder's finished as well. Yeah, the seeder's finished. It's got to the end of the field here. I can see the roller doing its headlands, but I'm very, very happy with this. So let's clear that off. We'll get this back up to the farm and finished off. And as it's getting quite dark, I'm just going to leave the roller heading out there and doing that. And we will finish off. Today, we are going to be getting everything loaded up and sold. Starting off with the wheat. We are in a really, really good position. So let's just pop out here and get this loaded up. So yeah, we have 110,000 litres of wheat to sell. We have 14,500 litres of sorghum here to sell, but we've got a whole load in the shed as well. So we're going to be selling all of that off today. As I said, starting off with the wheat. And we're going to be doing it 30,000 litres at a time, thanks to our truck. Now, out here, what price is the wheat selling for? Now, the reason we're selling right now is because best price for wheat is £676 per litre, per 1,000 litres, and it's currently selling at 698 down at county stores. Now, that is a slightly different place to where we've been before, because we've only been to British Gain and the Old Windmill before. County stores is still to the south, but I think it's down in amongst everything in the town instead. Let's see if we can see it. Yeah, oh, it's right by... We have sold to county stores before. It's right by the fuel station down the other end. So, yeah, we can get ourselves moving, head down there, and start the money rolling in. And this is going to be a huge amount of money we're making this year off here. Between this and the sorghum, this is going to be a massive, massive payday. And the sun's rising a bit now as we're approaching the sell point. So it's getting a nice little bit brighter around here. I always love how closely maneuverable this sell point is. Can I get out here and have a look? Let's have a look. Bring it round. Yeah, we should be able to just lean our head out the window and see a little bit better. And into the sell point like that. Perfect. Right, let's tip this up then and make some money. And there we go, all tipped out. 21,003 harvest income plus 2,500 environmental score. So yeah, not bad at all. We are making about, well, it's about 600 and it's about 660. Should be 700 for that, but maybe that does include the price of the environmental score on top, because 700. We're only getting just over 20,000 for that, when the price is at 700. Seems a little bit low. Actually, while driving back and trying to work it out, yeah, that math is spot on. 21,000 is 70% of 30,000, and yeah, it is 700 pounds per 1,000 liters. So it's not that surprising. That is absolutely spot on. So we're getting closer to 750 to 800,000, including the environmental score. 800 per 1,000, including the environmental score. So that is really quite cool. I'm very, very pleased. That's a cracking price for the wheat. So it's going to take us 4 trips to get the wheat done on here, but it is absolutely going to be worth it. Alone doing the wheat is going to get us the money we need to buy field 14. And another full trailer full. We'll turn our lights off now because there's no need to have those on. And we can head down and get the second lot sold. Today is very much going to be a whole load of trips down to sell points to get stuff sold. We have got this and we have got the sorghum to go, but it's going to be well worth it. This is going to be just a massive payday. It's the final load of wheat to deliver down here to county stores. The price has been steadily increasing all morning, so we are currently up to £708 per 1,000 litres. So that's an extra £8 per 1,000 litres we're getting at the moment, which is brilliant. The snow has started to fall, so it is getting a little bit colder, but that won't affect anything we're doing today. But what does affect what we're doing today is we are about to go over 140,000, and I'm fairly sure that puts us in the realms of buying field 14. No, 165,000 is what we need for that. So yeah, we're not quite there yet. It's almost completely silty clay, that field, but everything around us is. So yeah, we are not in a bad position. We are at 151, so another 16,000 to go, and then we're going to be able to afford field 14, which of course already has, I think, winter wheat in it. So that is going to set us up really, really nicely. And so next we got to go and start loading up the sorghum. Now that we've got all of the wheat sold, what we need to do is get the sorghum done. I think I called it sorghum as I was leaving the sell point. So yeah, sorghum sold. It's one of those things, mixing it up and getting sorghum and soybeans mixed up. But why is that not loading? Oh, no, we don't want to do that. I nearly tipped all of our sorghum that we just filled up back into the silo then. That would not have been good. Right, we only have, though, about half a trailer, just under half a trailer here. So what we need to do now is get the rest. And this is where the rest of our sorghum is, in this shed here. And this is why we only appeared to have 1,400 litres of it. Because, sorry, 14,000 litres of it, because we already had, we'd left that in the main silo when we shouldn't have. I want my 7610 here, and we'll move the trailer out the way. We'll just pull that into the shed here with us, and then we can get easy access to the sorghum with our auger. One of those things where we probably could do with updating our silo as well and getting it so that we can take 3 crops in there. It's not a huge problem having to store them in the shed like this for our 3rd crop, but it doesn't make things overly easy either. So we'll just pull this into here and park it up like that, and then we can pop back out and move this. So start it up. I want to see if I can get it into a position where we can pull a whole load of stuff from around it. This is going to take time to do because of this. Right, and start it up. And then we should be able to just back this into the shed and start loading up sorghum. And this is going to take a little bit longer because we are having to use the auger for this. But this is fairly decent, this little auger. I quite like it. It works fairly well for us. Something I think I might need to go and get to make this easier is a bucket for my front loader. Because we're picking up most things in the area. But it would be probably easier to leave this at the edge and then just tip the bucket at the end. It's taking quite a big amount or a big distance, so we might be all right. Are we full, or how close are we to being full? We're getting there. It's filling up nicely. And after a little bit of moving about, we are full. There we go. That's taken actually a big whack out of there. So I think we've only got about 60,000 litres here. And the snow has cleared up while we've been in there. So how much can we sell our sorghum for? 923 at British Grain. 941 is the price. So by the looks of this, actually, we want to hold off selling this till January. Which is unfortunate because I would really quite like to have got the sorghum sold today. So what we'll do, because I don't think... Yeah, what we'll do is we'll get this parked up. We'll park all this where it go into that shed. But the fact that this hasn't reached best price yet when it had appeared to is interesting. I don't think we've got anything else that's in that state. So let's turn this off. Do that. We'll turn this off as well. And yeah, so that is ready to sell in January. In the meantime, I do want to go and get a tractor and move some stuff around the yard. Oh, and yeah, we're going to be using the tractor and trailer as well. So let's just park this up here. And in fact, no, we're not going to use this tractor. We're going to park this up here. I'm going to go and take this, and I think we're going to head down to the shop and go and grab a new piece of kit now that is going to help us to feed our pigs and hopefully get the gardens working a little bit more efficiently. And originally I was going to use the lorry to transport what we're going to transport next, but to be perfectly honest, I think the tractor and trailer will do just as well. So what I want to do now is basically sort out our gardens. We need to get them cleared. We want to be moving around and reshape that part of the yard. So we need to make sure we get everything out of them. Let's just check. Oh, wow. There's a JCB AgriPro available. That would be perfect on the farm. But we can't afford to do that at the moment if we're going to buy ourselves a new field. What I do want is a belt system, and we want one that is fairly inexpensive and is going to allow us to fill stuff up. So the Meridian might be good for that. The Westfield, no, the Westfield isn't. That would work well for us. But I think just this old John Deere actually for 1,000 would do this. Although this does require a tractor to run on it, so we'll have to get one of our other tractors on it. But yeah, I think this will do the job. So let's buy this for 1,000 and head back out. It also fits the age of what we're running on here quite nicely as well. And the idea of this is that we can hold pallets over the bottom and get it to basically load up the trailer without having to lift pallets over the side. Let's just back this up a little bit further. There we go. Right, and we should be able to get this back to the yard now. Now we could run this. We could run this on this 7610 actually, and use another tractor for carting. That might be the way to go. Now it shouldn't take much horsepower to do this, so we'll yeah, we'll shove this on the 7610, and that could run it. And we'll go and get the 8340. And stick that on the trailer, and then we can do the carting with that. So we'll bring this around here and park it up. Yeah, for £1,000 to do this job is a really good bargain. There we go. Now, can I move this? Yes. Start the engine. We want to fold it up. No. Okay. Is there a way to move it? Yeah. So we want a little bit more height on it just to get it above the trailer. And bonk it there like so. We should then be able to just bring this round the side and hook it up to the side of it. Now this will either work really well or won't work at all. And I'm kind of hoping... Ah, yes, there we go. So it does connect it to it, which is perfect. We should be able to turn it on. Maybe not. Maybe it needs something like that. Or maybe it just needs to be connected up to it and have it running to work. And then we can put our little Ford 4000 to work again and see if we can get this loading stuff. So into our garden we have so much to unload from here. Yeah, open production menu. No, we want corn. All right, and unload 11 pallets of corn, please. It will only unload 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can do that and grab one of these, and it's just a case of holding it over here. And we know that we can do, well, 14 of these will load the trailer once. 30 of them would load our big truck. But now, of course, we've got sorghum sitting in the big truck, and I don't want to end that. But yeah, look at that. PTO is going. That's in there. And we've got corn in the trailer. So this is the last one from this batch. Got about a half full trailer at this point. So we'll go and grab some more out. And yeah, at 8,000 a go, I think we're going to be here a while. Yeah, we've still got 40,000 litres left. So take this up to 8 pallets. Down to 32. To empty this out then is going to require 4 more runs after this. So our trailer is nearly full. I think this takes us up to 14,000 litres. One more should give us, because I think this trailer holds 14.5. So we'll take one more of these then and just put it in. And that will then top this trailer off. We'll go and get the 8340, back it up, and get it over. So yeah, there we go. And wow, that trailer is looking very full. corn, 14,500 litres. 500 litres of corn in the actual thing itself. Perfect. I still struggle a little bit with the fact that our most powerful tractor on the farm is not the newest. And that this being our newest tractor is not our most powerful. So this has 125 horsepower. Our 7810 is the turbo version and has 135 horsepower. Right. Full trailer. And yet this time we're not selling these. We're going to put as much corn into the in with the pigs as we can, because this is their base food and it is the thing that makes them most efficient. And I think we might look actually at selling some pigs off next time. We're getting a fairly full sty here, and at the same time they're maturing rather nicely. Let's tip this, and while we're doing that, let's have a look at the status of the pigs themselves. Yeah, we've got 420. There we go. 7 months old, 420. Wow. 2 months, 3 months. 1,000. There we go. 22 months. 1,108. So the same for the German ones. And yeah, do we have anything older than 22 months? I think that's it. Yeah. So we might sell off these 22-month-old pigs. I think we will make a fairly decent amount of money from those. And that's the kind of price we're going to look to sell our pigs off. That means as well, our pigs almost immediately on doing that are going to be profitable, which is amazing. Right, I think we want to get one more load in today of this, and then we'll probably continue this next time. And yeah, as I said, sell off some pigs. Last pallet to load in, and there we go. In it goes. And away. Turn that off. We shouldn't have any in here at this time. So I'm going to turn this off. No, that's still on. Turn that off. Oh, maybe I have to turn this off. Hang on. Come around here. Can we get into this? Nope. Okay. Looks like we can't turn that off at the moment. I will sort that out in a minute, but we've got another 14,500 litres of corn here ready to go in with the pigs. And so our pigs now are going to be very nicely fed for a good while. I think we should be all right with them. And as I said, we're going to make a load of money. We've got quite a few pigs actually to sell off next time. And as that tips, and today we're going to be doing lots of loading up, lots of selling, and lots of sorting out the gardens. We have quite a good price at the moment for the sorghum at the old grain mill. If we have a quick look, you can see that 944 is the price and top price is 941. So we're going to be going up there right now to go and sell this in our truck while we can. 30,000 litres here. We've got a fair amount still in the shed. So if we can get down there and get this sold before the price drops too much, we will be quids in, because we are doing it at above best price, which is always our target for selling crops and to make money. Selling this sorghum today could very likely send us over the top and allow us to afford field 14, which will be really good news. To be able to expand the farm with a field that's already planted and that we don't have to worry much about is going to be absolutely brilliant. So let's get this into here. Biggest downside is that it's not been scanned. So ideally we want to try and get it scanned and sorted so that we are able to get the maximum out of it this year. We'll see how much this is worth. And yeah, this is going to be more than enough to get this done. 28,359 plus another 3,000, so over 30,000 for that, for 30,000 liters of sorghum. That's absolutely brilliant. Couldn't be happier about that. So we'll get this back up to the farm. We'll get it reloaded with the second lot, and we'll check on what other jobs we have to do today. Last year, we went into January with the knowledge that we were going to have enough money to buy field 2 from the contract that we were doing on that field. This year, I think we're in an even better position, knowing that we have the money to buy field 14, but knowing as well that we're not actually going to have to do anything to that field in order to make the most of it, I don't think, or at least get it started. We know we've got winter wheat in it, so it's going to be a great addition to our wheat harvest for the year. Let's bring this into there. Whoa, slow down. Don't want to lift that off the ground. Just want it to fill up at the back. Looks like it needs to back up though. So let's start the engine up. Get it into the crop like so. And if I get it too low, I'm not going to get it into the trailer anymore. So I need to back the trailer around carefully. Yeah, we end up having to get the trailer at sort of 50 or sorry, at 90 degrees to that, which isn't the easiest thing to do here. We can do it though. We back around carefully. There we are. Gotta be careful not to Austin Powers myself though. That will do. And then we need to turn this on. So turn on the conveyor belt, and it will lift itself out of the trailer as it does it anyway. So it's going to get easier. But yeah, look at all of that going in. I think there's a good chance that a lot of this, if not all of this, could fit in this trailer. I don't think we are more than half full, are we? No, we're only 36% full. So I think most of this, if not all of this, should fit into the trailer. Is it still pulling it, or do we need to pull further back? We need to pull further back. So let's move this into here. See if we can move it in such a way that, oh no, that's gonna cause us problems. Want to be back there-ish. Yeah, maneuvering our truck around. Thankfully, this shed is not too big to get the truck in sideways like that. So I can just reverse it up and then bring it around and under. And yeah, we can get it to fill up again. And as the pile goes down, this drops up, but also drops back. You can see it dropping back there. So we then have to go and position the truck, or reposition the truck again once it gets closer to being flat on the floor. So like that. And yeah, that's working really, really well. I do quite like this conveyor. We're going to be using this conveyor and another one today because we're going to use the other one to load up the maize from the gardens and get that job finished off as well. Look at this. That is just eating through the rest of this pile. Whether it reaches all the way to the back or not, I don't know. But if we can get it all onto our trailer, that would be absolutely brilliant. And nope, I think it's going to have to go further back. So back it up. Yeah, that's got it. It's all into range of it now. And that's the last of it. There we go. Just need the last little bit to load into the trailer. I don't know how much we have in this trailer. It's definitely not a full trailer, but it's going to be enough to give us another nice boost to our money. And there we go. All done. So we'll back it off. We'll put this in the corner. And then later we can bring it out. Turn it off. And away we go. 83%, another 25,000 litres. That is going to be brilliant because we know that's at least another £25,000. We're going to break the £200,000 mark. And as somebody said last time, I need to cover this up when I'm driving it. We transporting stuff on the road, we should have a cover on. One comment from last time I'd like to address, which is that the grass here, you might notice that there doesn't seem to be any of it other than some really flat stuff on the ground, just sort of like it's painted on. That's because it's winter and all of the grass has died back. Somebody suggested that, oh, there's something gone wrong. No, that is just how it looks. All the grass has died back, and as a result, it's really, really short. And that means that there's no grass on the ground. There's nothing to show. You can see here that it's just really, really short. From a distance, though, it just looks really, really flat. So, yeah, that's not an issue at all. We are tipping this out. And there we go. We've just passed the £200,000 mark. 205,000, about, wow, 26,000 in total off that. That's huge. That's really, really good. I couldn't be happy about that. That means that we can now definitely afford Field 14 and a little bit more, which is fantastic. So we'll get this back down to the farm, and I was kind of thinking of using this as something to fill the tray, or to fill with maize. But on reflection, this is leased, and I don't want to be costing myself extra cash all the time by using it a lot. So we are just going to park this up. The whole idea of this truck is as a quick way for us to go and sell our crops when we get to the end of the season. Now, something has happened to this setup here. Why is that so far off? Oh, now this keeps happening. This has been happening to me since the update. The front loaders I've had on some of my tractors have just been lowering. So what's happened here is this front loader has lowered and lifted that off the ground. So if I very carefully lower it down. Oh, I was hoping that was going to solve that problem, but doesn't seem to have. That's a little bit weird. Okay, I think we've got it sorted, and I've managed to reset it and get things where they were. Basically, the tow hitch down there had got jammed in the ground and wasn't working properly. There doesn't seem to be, though, any way for me to get control of this. So let's output some of our maize. See where we are on this. Let's output. We've got 23,000 litres of corn. So we're going to output 8 of these, which should output 8 pallets down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. And we'll get the trailer loaded up and we'll continue to feed the pigs with this. Ideally, what we're trying to do is empty all of the corn out of here. We want it really to finish producing stuff, because if we can get it to finish producing, then we can start to look to rearrange these. And I'm trying at the moment not to go and earn a load of money from these, because that's not the idea of these. The idea of these is we created them to feed the pigs, and so that's what we're going to do, and that's how we're going to load them up. So let's see if, yeah, there we go. That is loading our trailer. Perfect. I don't know why though I can't get it to disconnect from the 7610. These 2 crates should take us up to about 14,000 litres in the trailer. And And then we should be able to get an extra 500 litres into the trailer, followed by most of this going up into the conveyor as well. So that'd be quite good. Can't easily see over the bonnet of this. Yeah, it's a really nice tractor, this. For the most part, there are a few issues with it. The smallest one probably being that the number plate isn't changeable. You can't put your own number plate onto it, which is not great, but at the same time, it is not a huge issue. Let's get these up and get both of these loaded onto here. I'm actually quite pleased that I found a job that this little tractor can do. That running around the yard with this is just a great way to use this tractor. And then if we need to handle anything that needs more weight on the front or anything like that, then we've got our other tractor that we can do stuff with. Yeah, this is a full trailer. So we'll take our 8340 here and go and get this tipped so that we're filling up the pigs. And this is the idea, is that we're gonna shove all of this in with the pigs, try and empty these gardens out. It's all pig feed. That's the plan, and then that will keep us going. Those gardens are so powerful, to the point where I don't think it's probably worth having them unless you're doing something like feeding the pigs here, where you can recycle stuff from the farm back into to doing that. The pigs themselves, yeah, we are up to a nice level on the base food now. 50% of their mix should be base food. We do need to get some more protein in, but that should be the sunflowers to do that. So that'd be good. They are at full capacity now, though, so we can't fill any more in here. So yeah, the rest of this is going to have to go probably in our silo for now. In fact, we've got the money. I think we can place a pig feeding silo. So let's go silos. Let's see what the smallest silo we can get is. What's that? That's yeah, not that. I think I might have to go and have a look on the mod hub, but 30,000, that could go in here and be a pig feeding silo. So yeah, we could put pig feed in that. Does overlap with another object, causing a little bit of issue, but otherwise, yeah, we'll put this in our main silo for now, and I think I might go and see if I can find something where we can store this, but I think that would be pretty good. And we might sell this off. I was saying that the aim wasn't to be selling this stuff off, but I think we need to empty these gardens and possibly sell this off. Don't think we've got much in this silo. If anything, we've got a little bit of canola. So yeah, let's put the maize in this silo for now, and then we can deal with that later. But I want to get the rest of that emptied. Oh, downside is we can't take the sunflowers out at the moment, but that's okay. Let's just get the maize emptied, and then we can figure out what to do after that. So looking at our production on the garden that we've been emptying, we still have 400 litres of seed, 346 litres of solid fertilizer. So that is going to produce about 400 litres. Oh no, actually more than that. Wow, it produces 192 litres. So 4 times that is 400 times that is still quite a lot. Another 40,000 litres from just that. This is what I mean by these are this powerful. On this one, we have 22,000 litres of corn, so we've got another couple of goes with this, and about 6,000 litres of sunflowers. There is so much that can still come out of this gardens. I mean, that's mad. 400 litres of seed off here with a little bit of water is going to do a massive amount of maize still. Yeah, we definitely need to take these down to 1. I just want to empty them out and finish them off. So we'll leave it going and we'll see what it produces. But yeah, just 10 times would be 1,000 litres. So 10,000. Yeah, it is. There's about 40,000 litres of corn that can come out from just the seeds that we still have in that garden, which is crazy. I kind of want to know what you guys think we should do. Do you think we should sell off this corn, sell off this maize, and get some money? There were some suggestions that maybe I should sell off the maize from these and do the yard. Use the money to build the yard up rather than buy more fields. And I kind of like that idea. I think that would be a really good way for us to use the money. But I want to know your thoughts on this because, yeah, this one is now only got 652 litres of corn. This one still has another 14,000 litres of corn. There's a whole nother trailer in here. Do we just continue? Do we just sell all of this off and use the money to improve the farm? Maybe get some pig feeding facilities and do that, or do we not do that and say right? That's this all has to be pig feed. This is that's what it's intended for. Let me know down in the comments because I think we're probably going to end up with more than we need to feed the pigs by quite a way. And there we go. There was some suggestion that we shouldn't be running these over the winter, which is not a bad suggestion. They do get covered if frost happens. But yeah, I'm kind of open to that a little bit as well. So we just got to remember to turn them off. This is going so well though. And in January, we are looking, I think, at buying Field 14, getting that all set up for us. We got 3 fields to get planted in the spring. And I was considering doing some spring barley to even things out. But if Field 14 is already planted, then that's not an issue at all. And yeah, maybe I really would like to build up the farmyard, so maybe we should sell off the excess pig feed we've got here and go and go and actually sort this yard area out once and for all. I think that would be really cool. I think that would make a lot of sense. Last 2. Let's get them on there, and that one, and that one. There we are. Back it off. And this should be full. Yes, it is. We're not going very far. We're only taking it over to the silos here. These are going to be empty for the most part until next year anyway. So we can store this in here for a little while. Also, a great way of getting this into our big truck when we need to. Another load emptied. And 1 more to go. I'm also, do you know what? Considering how little seed there is and how little fertilizer there is in there, I might be open to getting that sold fairly soon as well. I think if we did go and sell the maize we've got and rebuild, I'm actually quite open to just getting rid of these and repositioning them. I'd quite like to do is have just one of these turn 90 degrees in this space here, so it's easier to access and we can work it a bit better. So I think we might look at that. Oh, what I do want to do is get into the production menu here, output another 8 of these. So another 8 pallets. We'll have 6 more to do after that. But that should mean everything is done and emptied out. This takes a little while to get going, this tractor. Come on. Really big delay on it. But, yeah, we just need to get the rest of these in. Final 2 pallets. We just need to get picked up and into the trailer. I think we only have 500 litres left. And we've got 2,000 litres here. So some of this will go into the conveyor and we'll have to empty the conveyor out with one more round, but that should be fine. Yeah, there we go. So the rest of that has gone into the conveyor. We'll just pull this round, get this emptied out into the silo, and then go back and empty the conveyor out again. It's quite a lot of corn we've done today. How much have we got in here? We've got 17,000 litres actually in there. So this is going to go up to about 30,000 litres. So that's quite a lot of corn in here at the moment. Plus we've got a little bit more to put in a moment. Just to finish things off. There we go. 32,228 litres. That's quite a bit of corn. So we're going to be doing all right with that, I think. It is just now a case of, can we sell this off? Should we sell this off? And if we do, I think the best place to use the money is, as has been suggested, reshaping this yard, getting ourselves a farmhouse, getting ourselves set up with that. I think that would be a really, really good use of our time and our energy. But yeah, that is about it for the farm today. We are, we have got our pigs nicely fed. We've sold off the remains of, we've sold off all the sorghum, which is great. And we've sorted out our gardens as well. We've emptied all the corn out of there. So that's going to be good. Today is we're back into a new year and it's January. We're looking at buying a new field. Maybe 2 new fields. There's a second one which we could afford in the area that we're looking at. Lots of people talking about what we should do with the excess feed we have from the gardens last time and whether we should sell that and invest in the farm. And yeah, I think we're going to. It seems to be a fairly good consensus. So let's get this put away, this trailer. And then we can go and buy the field that we want to buy. And this is kind of the state of our fields at the moment. So everything's mulched, which is a good start. We've got weeds in 2B and 12C, so we'll be dealing with those today. You can see field 14, which we're targeting, has some big stones in it, so we're gonna have to deal with those after this year. However, let's switch over and see what we've got. Yeah, field 14 has winter wheat in it, so we're gonna have a lot of extra winter wheat this year. We've got 4 fields that still need planting. Although, having said that, with the winter wheat being in 14, I think that we'll be able to put maybe some spring canola in one of these spare fields. And then that means we can put sorghum in the others. And that will even things up a little bit. What we need to do first, though, is we have 203,612. It's 165,000 to buy this field. So we will buy that. Yes. And then I want to check the weed situation in field 14. which is weed free. Looking at other fields, there are other possibilities. So we're left with a total of 38,000. So I don't think we can afford much other than field 9 would be affordable to us. It'd be the only one that is at the moment, and it's a little bit separated from the rest of our farm. So I think we'll leave that at the moment. Field 14 will need scanning. We don't use a scanner. We have to get somebody in to do it. So that's what we'll do. Purchase soil information. It's going to cost me 11,200 to do that. So we'll do that. We've got a little bit of loam up the top end of that field, and then the rest is just lots of silty clay. It's quite a heavy silty clay area. Our best fields are the one nearest the farm. The other thing I said I was going to be buying today, we want something to do pig food mixing. Now, I had considered putting in a silo, and then I found this. The Pig Food Production by Omatana. And it's a silo and a pig feed mixer. I think it's absolutely perfect for what we need on here. Let's just straighten up our edges and everything. Bring it a little bit back onto the concrete. And we could just place anywhere, but I'm going to place it there. Perfect. 20,000. And this takes either corn pig feed, sorghum pig feed, or potatoes pig food. So 450 litres of corn, 250 litres of barley, 200 litres of canola, and 100 litres of sugar beet is no good for us. We're going to have to rework our farm ever so slightly in order to get this to work. Not great. We don't have the right set of feed mix. No, we do. Okay, there we go. So sorghum pig food is going to be the way we go by the looks of things. We got sorghum, we got wheat, we got canola, we got potatoes. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to have potatoes produced by our gardens at the moment. We'll go down to one garden. We'll produce potatoes only, and those can go straight into here. Everything else is stuff that we produce on our farm at the moment. So that is a really interesting setup and quite a good mixer that is going to change what we do on the farm. So everything we have in corn today, we're going to sell and use that to rebuild our yard. We are also going to do the same with the sunflowers in here, and I'm going to stop production of everything else. We have 180 litres of seed left and 180 litres of fertilizer. Let's output the rest of this. Deactivate that. Potatoes, and yeah, activate that. And we'll then output potatoes from here instead. And we're going to do the same in the other one. So we'll stop this outputting corn, and we'll output potatoes instead. And in the meantime, I'm going to sell everything we have in here. Unbelievably, today is actually best price for corn. We could have timed this whole sort of rework of our pig feeding setup any better. 33,000 litres is all we have left in here. We're going down to British grain. I think is this one down here somewhere. Yeah, there we are. So it's the one right down the bottom. We've got a load of corn here. We've got some in the gardens as well. We also want to get the sunflowers out of the gardens because, of course, they are of no use to us either anymore. And this is something that's going to restrict the effect that our gardens actually have. That is going to change the way we work on here. It evens things out, and it works much better for us. And I really quite like that those pig food mixers have restrictions that basically those gardens can't produce nearly everything I need anymore. I do actually have to use some of the crops I'm growing. The best price for the corn at the moment is 900, and we are at 905 down here at British Grain. So this is why it is actually the perfect time to sell the corn. If we have a look down here, I've added this time-saving stock check mod, which is brilliant. So So if we have a look at corn, it's actually dropped to 902 at British Grain. Our value is actually, that's slightly down, but max price is 909. Was there and has dropped down from it. So let's tip this out. We're going to get probably about 25,000 for this, which is perfect. Looking at the sunflowers, the best price max month seems to be March. So we're a little bit off selling that. We currently have 7,000 litres of that sitting in the gardens, which is worth about 9,000. 27,000 plus 2,200. So 29,000 actually for that. That is perfect. And doesn't actually make a huge amount of difference to our money. Not as I was expecting it to be honest. But I need to go and get the last of the corn out of the silo. We'll then load up the corn that is remaining in the gardens themselves. So refill and corn. We've got 3,728 litres. Oh, so 3,729 litres, sorry, from there. And then we need to back this up here and get this under the chute. We're going to have to get this connected back up to the 7610. And I have had a little bit of trouble with this, getting it disconnected from it. So you can connect it up easy enough. Manual attach doesn't have much issue with that. But I think it's something to do with where the connection point is. So that is connected. But now can I... Oh, no, I can. So I had trouble last time connecting and disconnecting it. I managed to connect it this time. So let's connect that up. And now we need to go and get the front loader. And by that, I, of course, mean our little Ford 2000 series. Is this 2000? I think it is. Which is doing a grand job of handling all of this. And we can output the corn from here. We'll probably output the sunflowers from here today as well. Get that all cleared out. We want to output all of this corn. So just 2 pallets of that, really? No, we want to output, yeah, that pallet, which is a partial one. Perfect. And then close that for 5 pallets. Right, so there should be no corn in here now. It's just potatoes. Yep. And already got 400 or 500 litres in there. And this one, this should now just be potatoes and sunflowers. Yeah, so we're 7,000 litres of sunflowers, 2,000 litres of potatoes. Let's get these all loaded up. And then we can go get this sold as well. Our last crate, or last pallet of this. And we'll get this over here. Perfect. And then I'm going to do the sunflowers again in a minute. So we'll leave that as it is. That's another 10,611 litres. We'll cover that up. We forgot to do that last time. And if we have a look, the price has already dropped considerably. Yeah, we are still in the best time to do it. So we need to go and do that and sell it down at British Grain. That mod really takes all the pain out of working out when and where to sell stuff. I love it. Definitely be using that on the realism experiment. I think that's going to be a very useful mod to have in the future. Back down to British Grain. In we go and get it unloaded. This should bring in about another 8,000, 9,000 on top. So we'll be back up at 46,000. Which is great. It's actually point at which we could afford another field, I think. But no, we'll do that. As I said, we're going to be using this excess money here to work on our yards. Probably finally build us a farmhouse, which is something we've not had in all the time we've been on this map. We have not yet had a farmhouse. 9,424 plus 924 in environmental score, so over 10,000 we earned from that. That is perfect. And then the last thing we need to do today is just unload the sunflowers while we're here. We might as well use the truck. We're a long way from it costing us for another hour. So where are they? There they go. Okay. And should be 8 pallets, I think, out of here. Yep, in total. Will it give me all 8? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yes. So let's get them loaded up. So now that we've got our gardens empty of everything except potatoes, I have realized that we're basically back to what my original plan was on this map. We were going to grow most of the feed for the pigs except for the potatoes out in our fields. And that's actually why we have the mix of crops that we have out there already. So this is very much getting back to the original plan that we had on this map. And I'm very, very pleased with that. That's actually made me a lot happier. I think it's going to give us a much more balanced setup on here as a result. So with that all loaded up, we can go and put this tractor back. And we can, in fact, we can start putting all of this away. Our little Ford goes back in its shed at the end here. They're separate from everywhere else. But I kind of like that this has a separate setup. What I am going to do, though, is as I'm parking up, we're just going to drop the pallet fork off and back the tractor off a little bit. I found the last couple of times when I've come back in that this has been dropped into the ground and the pallet fork gets stuck. So disconnecting that should prevent that from happening. Next, I want to detach the PTO. Oh, there we go. That's detached it and detach that. Yep. So that's working. And then we'll connect this tractor up to this and move out of the way, I think. In fact, I'm going to get rid of this. If all we're doing is potatoes, I think we're going to want a different kind of conveyor for that. So I think we'll go and we'll go put this in the shed and we'll see if we have a use for it. I'm not sure we do. It might be useful for something at some point, but at the moment, this is a grain auger, not a potato conveyor. Do you know what? I really like this John Deere one in comparison to the other one we've got, because the other one has no obvious power. I think it's probably an electrical one. Yeah, it is an electrical one. So it does have obvious power. But I love that this one's run off the PTO and can be used anywhere. And this one is sort of one that you just use in the shed. And connect up to electricity that you don't obviously see. And then finally, we want to get all of this tipped into our silos and out the way. This will be clear by the end of March. As we saw a minute ago, March is when the best price is expected for sunflowers. Just check, we've only got canola in here. In fact, I know what I'm going to do. So we'll tip this and then fill this with the canola that we've got sitting in here. And we'll take that and put that immediately into the silos. Can we get that into here? Yes, 363 litres. There's just, yeah, nothing in there at all. Takes a while for the back of this to open up. There we go. And you blink and you miss it. It was gone. So let's go park this back up. We're up to 4.6 hours on this truck. We still have those sunflowers to sell in a little while, but we'll keep an eye on that. I have one more job to do today. And in fact, if we can get all of our jobs done today, what we'll probably do is go straight forward to February next video. Because, yeah, I don't think there's much left to do in January. So we're going to take the 8340 here, put some care wheels on it. So customize it. Oh, wow, it could do with the repair as well. So wheel setup at the moment is standard. Narrow tires is what we want. The narrow tires on these tractors look really good. Yes, for 1,000. Okay. We'll repair it as well while we're here. I did say we were going to do some repairing today. How much is the Isaria? We kind of want to put this on because we're going to be doing some fertilizing later in the year. And this is a sensor rather than, well, it is running on GPS, but I think this is a fair enough thing to be adding. And I did ask in the comments a little while ago if you think putting something like an Isaria compact on one of these tractors makes sense. And I think it does, because it's not controlling the steering, it's not controlling the positioning of the tractor or anything like that. It's just controlling the... it's just a sensor that runs on the tractor, and I think that is fair enough. I think that works fairly well for us. And putting it on our most modern tractor on the farm also seems to be a fairly good way to do it as well. So, oh wow, I think we need a front weight on this. We've got a front weight around here somewhere. Actually, we don't. The front weight is currently sitting on the back of the Ford. Do I have... Oh, I have a Ford front weight coupler here. Yeah, let's go grab this. So we'll buy that for 800, and I'm just going to pop to the shop and grab it. There it is, as ordered. A nice Ford front coupler for our tractor. I like that. I like that a lot. Much, much more era appropriate. And so the only thing we have left to do today is get the weeds cleared out of 2 of our fields. We've got this field here, which of course is field 2B. And we've actually got the biggest field in the farm to get done as well. But this should be a fairly quick job, if I remember correctly. And I can get it knocked out pretty quickly. And in doing so, we will have everything set. Certainly, well, actually, I think that might be everything set. Oh, wow. That's bad news. That's really bad news. We've left the weeds too long. That is not going to be doable. We're going to have to get a sprayer on these, and that means getting hold of a spot sprayer this year. Oh, well. That's a bit of a problem. An unfortunate one, but there's not much I can do. Which means there's nothing else to do on the farm. We will check things out in February as far as if there's any work. Otherwise, we'll move on to March. The one thing we could do before we go today, though, is I think it might be time to buy a house. So let's head over here and see what we've got. Farmhouses. We've got the British farmhouse by MS Modding, which is really nice. I've wanted to put this on here for a while. Basically, the garden to the house would be over there. So, not enough money. Oh, it's 45,000. But we're not apparently putting it on flat terrain. That's slightly annoying, because I want to put the house here, get the dog, set everything up, and yeah, have this as our as where our house is. But yeah, until we've sold the sunflowers, that's not gonna be possible. So that's gonna be a little while off yet. Today we have moved over to February, and we're going to start preparing our next set of fields. Now, I've realized something, that we have an overabundance of slurry. In fact, we have so much slurry that we need to use some of it because we're not generating anymore. So as a result, I've got hold of a couple of mods for slurry tankers to get them spread. So let's have a look at what we've got in here. Now, the 2 I've picked to look at and that fit our equipment, because as much as I'd love to use the pumps and hoses, it is well out of our price range at the moment, are these 2. We've got a Venus 6800, which is 12,000 and takes 40 horsepower to do, and has a 6,800 litre capacity. Or we've got the Marshall, which is 75 horsepower, so still within our power ability, has an 8,000 litre capacity. And yeah, it's 14,000, so only 2,000 more. So I think I'm going to go with this. We are going to put a set of Michelin tyres on it, I think. There we go. I can only put the standard Michelins on. We're going to go with the older decals on this. No warning triangle. We're going to leave the colors as standard. And then I'm going to lease it because the money we've got at the moment is supposed to be money for rebuilding our yard. And we can't really do anything with that till March because we need sunflowers. So, yeah, for 739, that is going to be really useful for the job we're going to do today. And with that little use of horsepower, we could actually get away with using our 7610 on this. And I might go and switch that around once we get back to the farm. This is more of a general use tractor, our 8340 here. But, well, actually, no, we'll use the 8340 on this. It can do this job. I'm not too precious on which tractor I have doing which job. And yeah, this one will do the job fairly well. So we're going to head over to our pigs now and try and see if we can get a good spread of this. Thankfully, we don't need to worry too much about actual levels. We know that we are putting sorghum in with all of this. Maybe another field of canola. So it's just need a good basis, but this will save us a whole load of money when we come to do our actual seeding. We've got field 1, field 2A, and field 3, I think, are the 3 that need doing. And we do have another field. Must be one of the field 12s needs doing as well. So let's see if we can refill this. There we go. A whole load of slurry in. And yeah, we do have 128,000 litres of slurry to work our way through. So this should be pretty good. I'm expecting that we'll get a good base of nitrogen on our fields with this. And as a result, get ourselves started off with a really good entry into the new year. So turn it on. There we go. It's just a case of how far is this slurry actually going to go on these fields. And from the look of it, it seems that one load of slurry should do roughly 1 row on here. We've got 15% left. So that's actually fairly good. And I'm quite pleased because despite leaving a fairly large gap there, the coverage is still pretty good. So we should be able to get a vast majority of this field done without too many trips back to the pig enclosure to refill. And even if we do leave a couple of gaps like this, we should be okay. I'm quite pleased with that. That's a really good start, and I'm quite happy that I've got the larger slurry tanker here. So we'll continue on with this field. We'll see how many of these tanks we have to get and come back in a little while to see how long it's taking us. The important thing with this is that we get a good coverage rather than a complete coverage. We're not going to be doing a very precise job with this. It's really give us a base boost in nitrogen so that when we come to do this field and actually plant it in the next couple of months, we're able to save ourselves some money on the solid fertilizer that we put on here. It should mean that we are in a better place overall. We are doing a 20 meter or 20 litre per hectare spread at the moment, and that seems to be a pretty good spread. It seems to be boosting us up about halfway on our nitrogen, so it's adding an extra 80 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare, which is perfect. That is going to halve our cost of the solid fertilizer on here, which is absolutely brilliant. And as I said before, what we're going to be doing this year is trying to get some extra precision with the Isaria add-ons. So the crop sensors, putting them on this tractor. There was a lot of talk last time. I need to turn this tractor around and gone the wrong way. There was a lot of talk last time about whether that would be too modern for this farm. And as I said at the beginning of the series, it's not a farm that we've set in the 90s. This is a farm that is generally using 90s equipment, but in the modern day, because the 90s equipment is cheaper. So the reason I'm not putting GPS on is because the tractors are of an age where the GPS is almost worth as much as the tractor is. But putting something like the crop sensors on, I think would be of great benefit, and would just give us a little bit of extra top up at the end of it. And really help in the fact that we'd be having to be so imprecise everywhere else. I think I've worked out about the right amount of space to have between these strips of slurry. It means that we've got the slurry going further, but at the same time we're not losing any of the nitrogen coverage, which is utterly fantastic. I'm really quite pleased with that. And means that we've had fewer runs back to the loading area or to the pig area to grab more. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to add a bit back on that one in order to get the full thing. I do keep catching the wheels of this on the hedges, so we need to make sure that we give them a wide berth when coming in. So stay in the middle of the roads and it'll be much better. There we go. Back her up. And in here. Like that. Refill that. And then we can head back out if we swing around. Yeah, there we go. We refilled, and I don't think we've got many more runs around this field to do. Yep, for the size of the field and the size of equipment, this little Marshall tanker is about perfect. We are coming up to the last bit on the main part of the field to do, but we need to get the headlands done, so turn that off. There we go. And head up to the top corner, and now do all of the bits that I've been avoiding the whole way around. This edge here may not actually need doing that much. There's a bit around here that needs doing, but the actual section along the edge, for the most part, doesn't need doing. We need to start right in the top corner, though, because you can see everything that we've not covered on this headland. Because basically trying to avoid running over where I've already spread slurry as much as possible. A little bit more realistic to me to do that. The ground would be a bit soggy there anyway, and you want to try and avoid damaging the ground if you can. So bring this round, line us up, and then back it up. Try not to cover the church in slurry. There we go, and away. I don't know how far half a tank of this, though, is going to take us. In all honesty, further than I expected. We are coming up to this top corner here, and I think it's going to run out just shy of it there. So one more tank should finish this field. And then I think we need to check on the state of the sunflowers. I think I saw a little while ago a great demand, and I just want to check that it's not a great demand for sunflowers, because if it is, then we want to get selling those as quickly as we can. And as the tractor comes along the last bit of headland here, we've still got 45% in from the last load, and that should do it. Let's check the nitrogen condition of the field. Yep, that's pretty good. It's still very sort of inaccurate overall, but it gives us a good base compared to how field 2A is looking here. You can compare the two. So if we can raise all of our fields by that, that's going to make this, getting these up to sort of this level, much easier. Looks like we're going to have to pay for a rescan of field 12 after this year. We've got some very big outdated data spots in that. But yeah, it's 2A, 3, and 12 that still need doing today. However, I do want to check on the prices and just check that it's not sunflowers that had the great demand. It isn't sunflowers that have the great demand, but the ones we have in stock are well above best price. There's 11,000 pounds worth of value there. That would normally be in March. The price is still rising though. How far are we above? We're £100 above. I kind of don't want to risk that. It's telling me at the moment that this is a really good price to sell at, and I think we probably want to go and do that. I think what we'll do is we'll continue on with our slurry spreading for now, and we'll keep an eye on it for the rest of the day. And if we see any drop start to happen, then we can go and get things sold. But we've got quite a big leeway at the moment for that. So that means I can get on with field 2A here. And again, we're going to do the same thing. Work our way around. Interesting that we get a slightly different setup from here. I'm wondering why field 1 ended up like that and field 2A ends up like this. Maybe it's because this is wheat and that was something else. So yeah, it's quite possible that that was canola or sorghum on field 1. So if it was, that explains the different ground texture after mulching and then doing this. Quite pleased that this is working after mulching. I've had issues before on Carmson Farm with the mulching preventing me from then spreading slurry on my fields. On here, though, we seem to be all right. It seems to be going fine. And it looks like we're getting about... yeah, about 1/3 of a tank per row by the looks of it. So it could end up being a bit of a... oh no, we're down to nearly 20%. So no, it is more than 1/3 of a tank per row. It's closer to 40% per row. So we'll get about halfway through this next one, and then that will be the end of this tank. And we'll have to go and get another one. I think the 128,000 that we've got is going to be about enough to do these 4 fields, and that's it. Beyond that, it looks like we might be struggling to do the entire farm with this slurry. But that's fine. I mean, we haven't been able to do the farm up to this point with the slurry. So, yeah, that's absolutely fine. And coming up to the end of field 2A. And what is this? Hang on. Have we got something growing here? That looks like grass. Is that grass or is that crop type wheat? What have we got in here? This is wheat. Yeah, that seems to be... I don't know what that is. That looks like grass, but also looks like wheat. So, yeah, I think that's wheat. But why we've got wheat growing here, I don't know. Certainly, I haven't planted any. So, it looks like... it almost looks like it's wheat left over from last year, because this is a wheat field. But that would be... as far as I know, that isn't a feature of FarmSim. That isn't something that happens. So, something weird has happened there. It would be nice to know what. It'd be really cool if you did get some wheat or weed crops appear based on the seeds dropped from the previous year. But as I said, I don't think that's a thing, and I think that was just enough slurry to get that field finished, which is great news because we can go and do field 3 next. But yeah, that's a little bit weird, that patch at the top there. How's the price of the sunflowers doing? It is still going up. It was 1,549. It's now 1,554. So yeah, we'll keep that going up, and that will be perfect. Let me check. My application rate is currently 20 liters per hectare, or 20,000 liters per hectare. I'm not quite sure. That must be, that's yeah. Either way, it's 20 meters squared per hectare, basically, which I think is, if I compare that to what my slurry tanker holds 8 meters squared. So 8 meters squared is 8,000 liters. So 20 meters squared is 20,000 liters. So we're doing 20,000 liters per hectare at the moment. And yeah, field 3, our big anomaly, the one that has 2 different soil types running through it. We'll get this sorted. Again, just spreading the 80 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare across here. Nice flat rate across the farm. Means that we bump everywhere up by the same amount. Just a little bit left of field 3 to go, and then that'll be 3 fields down with 1 to go. And we'll have done all of the slurry for today. That is a really, really good coverage. I'm very, very pleased by that. We'll go back out this way. I need to make a road really through here, because that's our water fill point down there. And I don't currently have a road through these trees to get to it. So I think that would be useful to create that. I'm going to go and refill this, just top this off. And then we've got field 12B to go and do, which is by far the biggest field we have today. And what I'll do is I'll check how much slurry we have left as well. I think it is going to be like basically 4 fields over the winter that we're able to do with this by the looks of things. Right, let's refill that and check our level. Slurry, we're down to 35,000 liters and not a huge amount. I don't know if we'll have enough left to do all of this. Although, having said that, 43,000 liters we have to go with field 12B. We'll see how far it goes. It might go far enough. I'm hoping it does, because yeah, I'd like to get this whole field done with this as well. How far across this field will 1 tank of slurry get? Looks to me like we're going to be doing 1. Yeah, look at that. 1 row up, 1 row back, and then refilling. And that's the way this field's going to go. So it's going to be not enough, I don't think. We're looking at having 4, maybe. 4 would be 24. No, 4 would not. 4 would be 32,000 liters. So we're going to have 5 loads in total, 5 and a bit. Is that going to be enough to get across this field? I don't think that is. This is our last full tank across this field, and yeah, we've managed to cover far more of it than I expected us to. We're not going to make it to the edge of the field, unfortunately. I think we've probably got about 3 rows to go, so we're going to be at least a full tank shy of what we need on here. And in fact, you can see we are down to 40%, under 40% before we get to this end of the field. Now, we might have enough generated over the next couple of days to maybe finish this off. And if I do, I'll get it done on here and get a little bit more spread, because we're not actually going to be doing anything on this field until March. And now that we've freed up space in the storage for the slurry with the pigs, we should be all right, and may actually get enough to finish off the side of this field. We've still got another half a tank as well, so I'm going to pop back to the farm and grab that as soon as this one runs out, which is right about now. There we go. So let's head back up to the farm and get this refilled. So up to the slurry tank and reload it. We should have, yeah, 4,700. Oh, slightly over half tank. Perfect. That should be enough to at least get where we are down that end done. Whether we'll generate another 8,000 liters in the next couple of days, I don't know, but we will give it a try and see if we can. If we do, as I said, we will get it spread on here because I'd like to get this field covered like we've got the other 3 covered. So back down here and in. Oh, wow. It really isn't much of the field that is missing at the moment. We've got quite a big patch down this headland here that needs doing. We've got this much going up the side here and probably just a single row along the edge. And it's not going to be enough. We're down to just 34%. And that'll get us probably 2/3 of the way down this final row here. It does mean we've got most of the field covered, and it does mean that we don't need to have the pigs generate very much in order to get this finished in the next couple of days. And yeah, thankfully, because we've got such thin borders between the 3 fields here, it's not a huge amount of... Yeah, in fact... Yeah, we can go right up to the edge by leaving that much space between them. But as I said, we're only going to get about halfway to 2/3 of the way down this field before we run out. And there we go. That is us out of slurry. Hopefully the pigs will produce a bit more and I can get this finished. But now I'm going to head back up to the yard and we're going to check on those sunflowers and see if we can round things off with a nice little bit of extra cash. So we'll go park this up over by the slurry pits. That way I can quickly go and refill it and get it done. We shouldn't need to head out here at all. Just in case, I'll try and make myself as much out of the way as possible. Turn that off and turn all the lights off. Right, let's go see how much the sunflowers are worth. And we left it too long. They've dropped back down below their top price. Wow. I want to see the graph on this. And that is slightly annoying. Yeah, it's dropped back down. So I think we're going to have to leave it for today and look at it in March. Because otherwise we're not going to get the best we can out of that. And that means, again, we can't build the farmhouse today. We will build it soon, though. Today, we are going to be doing a lot of jobs. First things up, we've got to go and sell the 7,250 litres of sunflowers we've got. The price is dropping. It's not looking terribly good at the moment. And, in fact, we're looking at making about £10,500 rather than the 11,000 we were going to make a couple of days ago. Once we've done this, we need to head back to the farm. We've got the spring wheat to get planted. Field 1 needs planting. We need to also try and get a little bit of slurry on field 12B. If you remember last time, we had a little bit of trouble finishing off field 12B as we ran out of slurry. So I'm hoping that our pigs have generated a little bit more and we'll be able to very quickly turn that round and get that finished. And then we can possibly, well, if we're able to, we'll see if we can roll in the wheat in field 1 today. If not, we'll end up doing that tomorrow. But I think we've got enough tractors on the farm in order to do that. If we come in this way to the farmyard, our next job is waiting for us right here in the form of the 8340 and the slurry spreader. We should be able to get at least a full tank off of this. Yes, we are going to be able to get field 12B finished. And once we've got that done, what we can go and do is start on the seeding and the rolling. I don't think we can plant sorghum for another couple of days. So we're going to have to wait to do that. Somebody did suggest a really good thing for us to do as far as crop sensors go especially as I'm looking to use crop sensors on this tractor. We can get a front mounted one. And we have on this tractor a front 3-point. So I think that's probably the way I'm going to go. Get a front mounted crop sensor and use that rather than putting the new technology on this tractor as part of that. It might even be cheaper, so we'll have to go and check that out in a little bit. First though, we've got quite a lot of cleanup to do on 12B here. We've got half of the last row to do, and then we've got this headland to come across and do as well. So we'll run up the side here. I don't want to drive on where we've got crops. And then once we've sorted all of this, what we are going to have a look at is a way to get rid of these fully grown weeds we've got in fields. We did say that we could possibly attack it with a spot sprayer or attack it with a straight up herbicide spray. We might have to do that. That'll only give us a 5% increase in our yield as opposed to a 20% increase in our yield if we were to do it with the spot sprayer. And that has got the rest of the field covered. And now we just need to start getting the spring wheat planted. I do have a great place to store this though, right by our slurry spreading. We can put this in this shed here and out the way. So back this up into here, and that fits perfectly. It's like this shed was made for this. I'm so pleased manual attack works again now with this seeder. I think this seeder is one of the best modded seeders out there. Let's drop down at this end so we can disconnect that. We then bring this round and connect to the other end to connect this up. What that allows us to then do is fold the wheels up. We can then lower this down, disconnect that from there. Oh no, actually before I do that, what have I've dropped those bit. There we go. That's what I want to drop down like so, and then we can disconnect this, and then we'll put this over the side of the field so that it's out the way and doesn't cause us any issues. We'll probably grab another tractor and just get this back to the yard. This 3-point attachment. There we go. Everything connected up, and we want to clear the current course off, create a new one. So 4.3 meters, 3 headlands. Yeah, is great for this. Clockwise, yes, perfect. Right, generate me a course. Yeah, that's perfect. Right, now that we've done that, back out here, and we need to work out what application rate we want. I think we want to reduce our application rate to around about 95. Is that covering most of what we need? That's still too much. Yeah, I think that covers pretty well what we need on here. We are going to do some top up at the end, so I'd rather put a little bit less on than too much. First waypoint, we've got the wheat. Just double check what we've had in here previously. Yeah, is canola, so we do want to have wheat into here. The way it goes. So we need 2 things up at the field. One is our trailer full of fertilizer and seeds. We want to get that all up here. It's looking quite heavy. Is that making that? Oh, wow, that is making that wheelie. Right, we'll pull this out a little way then. Yeah, neat little trick this. Get the back, get some extra weight on the front. We then have a bit better control with this. Something I do need to look into actually is our pigs. Whether we have any that are good to sell. Now, if they're anything like the cows, between 24 and 36 months is where we want to sell. So between 2 and 3 years, we have a lot of pigs. So anything, yeah, there we go. 25 months, £1,200. Wow, we have 3 sets of 16 pigs that are worth a lot of money. So these are our original pigs, I think, and we're in a position, I think, where we can sell them. We do need to get an animal trailer on here to do that. I don't think pigs are affected, though, by fluctuating costs in months. What's this? Is this wheat? Yeah, this is a big patch of growing wheat. We've got a few of these that we've had around. We'll be getting rid of this. But yeah, that's a bit odd. The other tractor we want to get up to that field ready is this one. This is our 7610, and we're going to hook this up to the roller. And I want to leave the 8330 available to do the pigs with. We're going to go up to the shop with that in a minute and get 2 new pieces of equipment. The crop sensor, and then on the Johnstone trailer, we can also get an animal transport. Now, that does mean taking all of those big bags off that trailer. Last of the bags unloaded, so we'll just park this tractor out the way over here. So hook this up to our trailer. I can't believe how much we've already achieved today. We've managed to sell off the excess sunflowers, get this field 1 started, which is a really good head start on that job. We wanted to get that in as quickly as possible. Some extra slurry onto 12B, so we've finished that field off. And we're now heading up to the shop where we're going to go buy a couple of new pieces of equipment, get the and to get the pigs sold. Somebody did point out that our manure heap is getting fairly big on here. We'll check that in a minute when we come back. Looks like the potatoes are doing fairly well, although that is looking fairly dead. Why is that looking fairly dead? It's out of water. It's fairly heavy on the water usage, this. Whereas this, yeah, still has a bit. So, yeah, we need to sort out the water in this one and keep producing the potatoes. Down and into the shop. And just bring this to here. And let's go and see what they got in here. I don't think there's anything on offer today that's of any use to us. Nope, nothing of any use to us there. The tempo's quite good, but doesn't actually plant anything we're trying to plant, and requires 300 horsepower. So no, that isn't any good for us. So things we want: animals. We want to check first. So animal transport. We've got this one, the livestock module for our Johnston trailer. We want it in the New Holland blue. And that's only 7,800, so that's perfect. Yes, we'll have that. And then under MISC, I think it is, we should have a couple of crop sensors here. Yeah, so we've got the Isaria crop sensor. Wow, which is 23,900. That is really quite expensive. I thought I had hoped that was going to be cheaper than the ones that actually go on the tractors, but we can get it with, oh wow, a good size front weight as well. So if we got it with a 1,000 weight and we were to lease that, that would not be horribly expensive, but I think we might hold off on doing that until later. We can certainly upgrade the tractor because this is the only tractor that is going to go on. So, yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. It was suggested that we could put that on the front 3-point. It would be cheaper to build them onto the tractor instead. I think that might be a tough one to choose. Over here, we did originally have this in order to get our pigs on the farm. I'm so pleased that we can actually afford to get it back. So let's bring this into here and up to our pigs. I don't know how many this trailer takes. I think we'll find out in a moment. Where are our most expensive pigs? So 1,200 at 25 months. Maximum. Oh, we can fit 16 into the livestock module. Yes. So there we are. Let's close up the back of this. It's going to be 3 trips today. Then in order to sell off the pigs, And I'm intrigued when we get down there as to exactly how much a new set of pigs would cost. Not that we need them because we're breeding pigs really, really well now. But I'm intrigued to see how much money we've made off these. Down to Attingham Livestock Services. And this is where we're going to sell the pigs. 1,200 is a really good price. I don't know if we... Oh, yeah, no, we will get the full 1,200 for them here. So 1,200. So we bought these. Wow, even if we bought the 6-month-old. So if these were the 6-month-old we bought, we've made well over 600. We've made 675,000 on each pig. That is huge. If we bought them at 0, we've made £1,000 a pig. We bought these as piglets, which is very possible we did. I can't remember. I'd need to go back. Then yeah, we've made a lot of money on the pigs, which is great because it hasn't cost us a huge amount to feed them. Time to load up our second set of pigs. We've got the Bethlehem Black Peed. 16 of those. Move to trailer. Yes. Okay. And back. Right. Back down to the livestock services we go. And up to the livestock services with this batch. We just bring around here and unload as well. These pigs, I think, as a long-term money maker, are fantastic. You buy a load of piglets for 200, and a couple of years later, you're making £1,000 per pig, which is huge. 19,200 that we're making per trailer with this. That's massive. That is absolutely amazing. And we've still got one more set to go. We're going to hit nearly 100,000 today. Before I load the next set of pigs up, though, I want to get the roller going. Similarly, we want 3 headlands because we're going again at 6 meters. Sharpen the corners. We want to do center first. There we go. That's much better. So we'll go to start from the first waypoint. Should be well inside. Well, that is well inside. So that's good news. Unfold this. And first waypoint, which we're pretty much over. And turn that to blue and go. Our seeder has finally run out of, in fact, both things. The first thing it's run out of is the fertilizer, so we need to get that up there. Lasted really well on here, though, considering it only had half a tank of fertilizer in it when it started. Same with the seeds. It's done really well on this loamy soil to go this long on half a tank. We're going to be doing both of these right now, so I'm not going to start the tractor up immediately. Empty all of that in. Don't know if it will take all of this fertilizer, but it should take a vast majority of it. Yep, there we go. All of that fertilizer in. And then a bag of seeds in as well. This it won't take all of, I do know that much. And we'll be left with a little bit left in the bag to put in later. And with field 1 sorted, it's time to load some more pigs into our trailer. So £1,200. Move those to trailer. Yes. I'm just wondering what the age of some of our other pigs are. 10 months, 6 months, 10 months, 14 months, 6 months, 6 months, 14 months. So it looks like the eldest are at 14 months, which makes sense. So they start reproducing at 6 months. And we have some 2-month-olds. So yeah, I think we might have bought piglets, which is even better, because if we're now making from the piglets, from our original piglets, £1,000 a pig, that is incredible. Down to the livestock services for the last time today. At some point I need to sell some bales up here, but I think that'll be a winter Christmas sort of time for that. More of December. Right, let's get them out. And 16 at 19,200. That's really good. 99,858 is our total after that. Yeah, I think next time what we're going to be doing is probably getting ourselves our house and reshaping the yard. And I think we might see if we can top up the fertilizer state of many of our fields as well. I think that would be a really good way to go. On my way back, I've had a thought about livestock trailers in general, and a slight modification I might try and make. At the moment, the back of this drops down with the unfold command. I wonder what would happen if you use the uncover command instead. Simply because the uncover command is one that you can use from outside the tractor if you have the right mod. And so as a result, you could come to the back of the trailer and open the rear of the trailer. I think I might have to experiment with that. But now though, I'm back up at the farm and we want to drop the livestock module off this. So we're going to put this in the shed over here and drop this off. I want to return the trailer up to the field, but I also want to go and get a couple of Bowsers full of water and put them into the far gardens. We'll hook up to our Joskin water Bowser here. Still have so much straw. Yeah, we should have sold a whole load of straw last winter, I think, because this shed is just absolutely full of it. Oh, I can turn my beacons off now as well. And I spoke about this last time, where I could do with putting in a roadway through here, so that we have a good route down to, or an obvious route down to our water fill point. That doesn't go through our massive hole over there. And I think we could possibly sort our water fill point out a little bit as well. It's still a little bit steep to back up down to the river here, and it would probably benefit from being a little bit straighter, especially as when you load this up, the tractor starts sliding backwards with the weight of the trailer. All full. Let's see if we can get this to climb out of here. There we go. Yeah, it's quite a steep climb when that's full. I'd rather like to see that as something I can sort. And I think driving wise, yes, we do have a big hole here, but to the left of it, we have a way through the trees that might work out pretty well as a route to define. Bring this round and load in the water. I was picking it up at a slightly different place. Yeah, I think turning this 90 degrees is going to be really helpful as well. So once we've used up all of the seeds and the fertilizer, we'll sell both of these and we'll put a new one in at 90 degrees to where this one is now, just to make things a little bit easier on us. 7810 has finished, so we'll move that out of the way. And actually, I'm going to refill this with some extra seeds and things in a moment. Once we got this, once we got it moved out of the way. Oh, can I get that round? Yes. Perfect. So yeah, we'll get that filled up in a moment. First, I need to deal with this getting stuck. It turns quite a long way up here, and as a result, ends up in that hedge most of the time. And we'll just top up the seeds and the fertilizer in here, and then we'll have to transport less on our trailer home. The sun really is beginning to set though now, and yeah, we've got rain on the way, so getting these seeds back under cover is a fairly important thing. There's only 140 liters of seed in each of these. Is that full? No, that can't be full. That's full. So we're gonna have to pull the seeds onto here, which is surprisingly not a lot of seeds. We've got over 3 big bags. We've got 100, 280, 290 seeds over 3 big bags. Yeah, we definitely want to get rid of these as quickly as possible. Possibly into, well, small big bags like this would actually be perfect for refilling the gardens when we get them changed. So maybe we'll hold on to those. This one here, yep, also 140 liters. I'm going to top up the fertilizer as well, and that fills that up. Again, it's not going to take all of this. We're down to 286 liters here, but we've got plenty of space. And if we put this over the wheels, or all of these bags over the wheels, that will make it much, much easier to use this. Last one on. We'll get those strapped down in a moment. But yeah, getting those over that should mean that we have no need to put a big bag on the front of this time. Okay, and all we're waiting for now is the roller to finish. Coming up to 10:30 at night, and we've nearly finished the field. Finally, it's taken a few hours longer than I expected, but we are coming up to the end of it as our course place course completes. And it has, I think, managed to roll everything we need to roll. If it has missed any spots, it's missed some very small spots in the corners. So let's stop that, because I think that is exactly where we want to be. Fold that up and bring it off the field, and then we can go and get our tractor back to the yard, and we're all done. I think we'll have a review. We'll see where we are. We might have some stuff to do on the second day in March. If not, we'll be moving forward to April. Today, we are going to be rebuilding the yard. Well, we need to move these first and get them out the way. And then we're going to place a new barn down here. We're going to create a new house along with a garden and everything. And we may even move one of the actual producing gardens because it's fairly close to being empty. So we've got a little bit of moving about to do first. Our combines and their header trailers are completely in the way. The plan here is really to create somewhere to store these. Maybe a new main barn for the farm where we can put the tractors as well. We'll see how much space we have in it. But I want to start developing this and make it more of a yard without sort of these big spaces where we've obviously deleted barns from. We might also see if we can get a sprayer and get rid of those weeds today. We've got a few spraying options. I've decided that we're not going to use a spot sprayer. The whole thing with the spot sprayer is that while this series is set in the modern day and on things like contracts we do use modern equipment, I think it's more in keeping if I'm using sprayers that wouldn't really have that kind of technology on it. Otherwise, we've suddenly got a massively modern piece of technology on the farm that otherwise we don't have. Along those lines, the crop sensors, the thing that I've learned about those recently is that they are very much in keeping with the era of our 8340, that being a New Holland tractor from the early to mid 90s. Crop sensors were beginning to become into use around then, so we can still put those on there, and I think that's a wise thing for us to do. Right, so now we've cleared the space, let's get building. And the first thing I want to build today, of course, is our farmhouse. we've got that over here, and I'm going to put this round here. We've got a back door out there. I think best way for me to do this is probably to have the house, I think, round like this. That way we've got easy access to the front of it. We're not too worried about then having a whole load of stuff in the back. So bring this round, and I'm hoping this isn't going to create a suddenly large hump or anything in the ground, because it's, yeah, it gets flatter towards here. So, oh, this might be fun. What we do first then is we are going to flatten out the ground. Let's take that larger, change the shape of it as well. And so, oh God, no. We'll go that way and just take this so that it flattens it out a little bit, so we don't end up doing a lot of extra groundwork. Back to buildings, back to farmhouses. There we go. That's much better. We'll do much less transformation of the ground now, and 45,000. Bang. There we are. That's our house in over there. And we're going to want to put some walls in and close it off a little bit. But yeah, I like having the house over here. So we've got the front of the house here. We've got a back door out to here. And you can see the area where it was dropping down. So we'll smooth that out in a moment, just to make it not suddenly go down like that. And then we've got a fairly nice garden going out this way as well. So we'll probably put a wall from about here out to here, so that that's the garden, and then replant everything. So let's get that in next. We want decoration, and down here we've got a large selection of walls, and I think a wall that's in keeping with the house would be really good. Do I have one, sort of a sandstone? What's this one like? Let's have a turn around and have a look. Yeah, that's fairly in keeping with our house, I think. So if we take that out here like so, and I'm going to keep it fairly straight to the side of the house, to there, we should be able to do 5,010. So like that. Yep, I like that a lot. And that now gives us good access to the back of the house. This is our garden area, and we've got a little bit of woodland on the edge of it as well. Perfect. I like that awful lot. Right, let's go and move our Land Rover over there, and then we can look at adding this new barn. Now, our house has two things on it. We've got a change of clothes that we can do, and we've got a sleep trigger. Perfect. That's actually our second sleep trigger. I think we need to go and delete the one up at the hotel. But that works really, really well. I'm so pleased at how well that's gone in. I think we might rework this a little bit more. I think we can. We're going to make a roadway down here in a little bit, and that'll go through the trees so that we can refill the water. So I think we're going to fence off the yard a little bit more as well. But that should be fine. Next up, we want to have a look at these. These are our gardens, as we've seen many times before. And in our production menu, we can see on this one here, specifically, we've only got 61 litres of each left. So we've only got a little bit to still come out of here. I don't know if it's enough water to finish it off, but I'm hoping in the next day or so, this garden will be able to be sold. And then we will be able, I think, to do something with this one as well. We look in here. This one is down to 290 solid fertilizer. So in order to use the seeds up in here, we might have to put a little bit of manure in. We go, oh, actually, we could use it up once it's run out, just by producing standard potatoes from water and slowing everything down. Yeah, I think that's going to be the way to go with this one. And once these two are empty, I want to turn this 90 degrees and just put it in the corner over here. so that it's nicely out the way. And then we can reuse this yard area a bit better as well. Right, the next bit I want is a new shed in here. And for that, we're going to use one of the standard ones that come with Attingham Park, which is this one here, which I think fits in really well with our barn and our sheds and everything we've got here already. So this can go around here. I've seen this one before. This is the one we had as a main barn on 6 Ashes. So it should fit in fairly well with what we have set up. I'm going to give some space like that. And then that gives us a nice, clean new barn here to put stuff in, which is great. I think that's a fantastic addition to the farm. The last thing we need on here, I think, is another silo. Now, if I can fit a silo on the end here, that would be really good. But we have 3 crops here, and we have to tip 1 on the ground every year. So for that, we want a silo extension. And for 10,000, we could add a small silo on the end. For 20,000, we could add that. Is there anything else we got in here? These are all fairly big silos, aren't they? Or maybe not. Maybe we could add one of these on here. 64,000 for that. We've only got 21,000. So realistically, the only additional silo we can add is this one here. And if I'm going to add that, what I might do is add it around the back so that it can go with this lot here like so. That's going to create an interesting setup. I want it really close in. So let's disable the position and go there like that. That should now fit in at the back there and just look like part of the building, which is exactly what it is. Perfect. And that takes us down to 6,700. But we now have somewhere to put our combines. So before we put the combines away, we will give them a wash down and maybe take them over to the repair shop quickly. Although we'll leave that until slightly later in the year. I think that will be a better choice for us. We're gonna find ourselves running low on money if we're not careful. And I really, really want to avoid that happening before we've got all of the crops in the ground. We still have 3 fields to plant. So I'm very cautious and very aware of that. First combine washed. Let's get that into the shed. Now we need to get the second one washed down as well. This is still in fairly good repair, so we won't worry about repairing this one either at the moment. If we do have the cash to do it, we'll get it done before the beginning of the harvest season. But yeah, both of them seem to be okay at the moment. Right, almost got that cleaned off. Little bit of wear on both of them, but they're both still doing well. And so what I want to check is if I stand here and go, yeah, this has, the other combine has a collision on it, which meant I couldn't get it that close to the rear of this shed. And I don't know if it's going to leave me with enough space to get this one in as well. Can we get both of them in here? No, we're going to have to put them side by side. That's fine. It just eats up some of the space that we've got in here. So we'll put this down here. Oh, actually, if we can get it closer, I might be able to get both header trailers down this side of the barn as well. So pull this down here. And then that gives us space to store our tractors in here as well, which is, I think, a better shed for us to do that in than the other one. So this header next. We might as well get this tractor a wash down while we also wash down the header. Putting it all away nice and clean is, yeah, the best way for us to go. Now, what we don't have is enough money to put the to testers on. I've managed to bring the tractor over here and left the header trailer behind. So we'll go back and get that once we wash this down. I mean, this tractor did need a wash down anyway. It would have just been useful not to have done it in 2 journeys. So seeing as I've got the header needing doing on its own, I'm going to spin around and just reverse it up so that it's closer and easier then to wash. Header trailer is fine. It's just the header itself. Let's get that out and give this a wash down as well. And there we go. That's just about covered that. Again, fair bit of wear on this header. But the combines have had a fairly good workout last year, and they're gonna have an even more of a workout this year. It's gonna be a lot of hard work on the farm for them this year. Back this up and get this in the shed, and then we've just got one more to go and grab. Our last header to get done, and then we can put this one away as well. There we go. That's done. And then reverse this into the shed too. And it'll all be done and dusted. I'm really pleased, actually. This is all fitting in here really well. This one we're going to have to get a little bit closer to this side of the door in order to fit it in. But it should still fit in here, I think. Yeah, I think we'll leave that in here like so. It's a pity that we couldn't have got the other two next to each other, or you know, front and back, because yeah, then we would have got both these header trailers in here easily. Looks like though this is not going to be the shed that I put the tractors in, which is fine. I don't mind storing the combines in here. The combines unfortunately won't fit in the other shed. Otherwise I'd store them over there and have that done like that. However, we can fit all of this in here quite nicely. I detach hoses like that, and that's all done. Perfect. With that job done, we can close up that shed and head over here. So I now want to sort this area out, give us a good, nice cordoned off bit for our house, and also get this roadway done down here. There's a big hole over here. So I think we want the roads to come through here like this, and we need to smooth out this road. So let's, or this hole, let's back up here and back into the construction menu. So this is our hole here. Let's smooth this out. I want a fairly big area. Let's see if we can't get that smoothed through there. You smooth all of this area if we can quite nicely, and that should make things a little bit easier. We want to get the roadway as close to the top end of here as possible. Actually, can we get it through here? Yeah, I think through there like that, and then down here and down to this. Now I want to see if we can pull this a little bit better out. So back into landscaping, and it's quite a tough one to actually see exactly where I am. This is where I want to be. I want to pull this here, flattened, out into our farm. So let's make that smaller. That is the smallest it'll go. And then pull it along here like so. This is going to be expensive to do, but there's no other way around it really. Right, that gives us a nice flat area there. And then if we enlarge this and smooth it, that should then lose that steepness there and give us a good area down into it. We'll see what that's like in a moment. But yeah, it gives us a better staging area down there, gives us a better access to the actual bits. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so that's fairly steep down into it, and still quite a bit of a drop at that point there. Oh, and we've still got quite a bit of a drop there, so it needs to be a little bit more smoothing. So back into landscape, back into the smoothing. and smooth these bits down. Ideally, what we want is to see if we can set this point here and then go from here like that and create ourselves a decent ramp down to that point. We'll have to smooth off the edges a bit again. You can see it on this side here. So smooth that off. This actually isn't ending up costing as much as I thought it might. It's actually turning out to be slightly better than I'd expected. And I don't think that's going to make that tree float either. Yes. Oh, that's much better. A little bit more smoothing down the bottom here just to finish things off. But that is a much, much better way of getting down to that water's edge. Right. A little bit bigger. And smooth there. Smooth this bit. This bit here doesn't seem to want to smooth very easily. And there are a few bits around the edges, but I'll take that. So that now makes it easier for us to get down here, get water, and we just need to make a roadway out of it. So to do that, I'm going to go back to the landscaping. We're going to go back to the painting. We want some mud down the bottom, I think. Dirt. Do we have any actual mud? Yeah, well, it's animal mud. Yeah, we'll go with the animal mud. We'll change the shape. We'll enlarge it a bit. And then I want to paint across there, because this is a muddy area. I don't know what that is actually there. That must be the other type of mud, maybe? That... Yeah, that's exactly what that is. Right, so we'll go with the other type of mud then around here. Like so. I think it's actually dirt, but mud's down there is good. We'll take the size of that right down, and the road is going to come down here like so. So we'll have a little bit of mud trailing out of it like that. Like that. And then we want dirt. So that is dirt, yep. So that then, get a good couple of strips of that out. Like so. And then hopefully that means we can give ourselves a good roadway through here like this. Going up this way here. Connecting up to that. Going through here. I need to get through the right bit of the tree line here. If we can. I don't want to go straight into a tree. Best way through the tree line is coming out of here. We'll have a look. So our road's going up like this. I actually think I want to take that tree out. I don't have a chainsaw on here. So best bet is to come through this one here. Through that gap there. So let's take this. I want dirt. Yeah. And change the shape again. Enlarge it a little bit. Take it up through that tree line there. Take that corner out a little bit. And through this tree line here. This is where it's going to get tricky to actually get the right angles on everything. Because I can't see anything in the trees. So roadway through there like so. Then we'll have to hope it kind of meets up with it down here. I think that kind of does. But it's very difficult to see where you're going when, yep, you can't see it. But that works. So we've got a nice roadway through here, down here, to where we want to pick up the water. And that should work out fairly well for us, I think. Right, so that means we can now know where to put in the walls and the fences for the rest of this. So up to here-ish, I think, is a good place. So let's grab the decoration. We want the same walls as we already have. So those are... Where are you? Here we go. This one here, I think. Which did I go with? Did I go with that one? Nope. Not that one. That one, maybe. Nope, not that one. That one. Let's see. Yep, that one. Okay. So this wants to come from the edge of here, like so, across here. And yeah. And I'm going to turn it around slightly as we come here to that point there. Like, oh, like that. There we are. And there we go with a nice space in here for this. So that is really nice. I love that. And then we just need to put gravel into there, I think. And some grass along the edges. And there we go. The rain has started falling, but we've got a nice gravel area in front of the house now. I've also put a patio out the back. So we go into a patio area around here. Then we might get some tables or chairs or something to put out here. And then a nice garden over here that actually, quite frankly, needs replanting with some grass in a few places. But our farmhouse is done, and this is where we are now living. I'm so pleased with this. We've then got, obviously, an area around here where there's still plenty we could be doing, and lots we can do around there. And yeah, we've still got our old sheds and things. We've got our workshop and our shed here, and we've got the pigs over here. But all in all, I'm really, really quite pleased with the new farm layout and the extra sheds and barns. Yeah, this is the combine shed. It fits the combines quite nicely. I might move these somewhere else so that we can put the tractors in here as well. But at the moment, the combines are taking up this shed. I do really like it as a shed, though. And everything else is all in place. Unfortunately, of course, we're out of money now to get a sprayer and do anything with that, or even to get the crop sensor, the fertilizer sensor that I was talking about either. Also, we've got quite a large area of yard around here, and I think we've still got a fair amount of work still to do around here to make everything a bit better and to pretty things up. However, I am very, very happy with our new farm layout. So I think that is where we're going to leave it today. I am going to step inside and go and have some lunch. Today, we are going to be planting field 12B with some sorghum. We're going to set the courseplay running on this, because the other thing I need to do is get out and get the weeds done on the spring wheat that we planted last time. So we want to get that sorted today as well. So down here, let's clear the current course off and add a new one. Then we're going to do 12B, which is there. 3 headlands, yeah, all set up from the last time we did one. Generator course, that's going the wrong direction. So automatic and generate. There we are, that works. So out of here, and we'll head down to this bottom corner and get it started. Now, the amount of fertilizer, the amount of nitrogen on this field is really variable. You can see that we've got patches that are, some patches that are really, really good, and some patches that are really, really awful, which is slightly odd. If we have a look in here and try and see what's going on, yeah, we've got a really, really green patch here, and everything else is sort of all over the place. And this is a result of us putting the putting the slurry on here. So what I'm going to have to do, I think, is we are not in one of the green patches at the moment. Let's reduce our amount of that down to, I think this is probably, I think a little bit under is probably where we want to go. As I said, we're going to go round and we're going to increase all of this later. First waypoint, sorghum, and yeah, away we go. Out of money. No, we're going to have to do this ourselves today then, because that is not good. We've used up all our cash. Let's clear this. Yep, it's going to be 2 days of doing things manually, which is fine because it means we can't do the weeds ourselves, but we are going to have to do this ourselves. And it's good to get back to doing it yourself every so often. And sometimes you can't help it because you do not have the funds to go and do it. Now, having to do this ourselves is going to put quite a big time constraint on us, because without any hired workers, we're not going to be able to get these fields rolled separately, and we can't go and weed the spring wheat separately. So we're going to have to get this done and then come and roll it. We're going to have to go and get the weeds done as quickly as we can, because if we run out of time in these 2 days to get those done as well, that's going to be a problem. The one thing we do have going for us is the fact that we've taken on the biggest field first. So if this takes us a little while to get done, it's not going to be a massive problem because we've got plenty of time to catch up. Now, I'm not doing headlands on this because we have headland space up here to be able to turn around. We will probably do headlands when we're rolling. However, we are doing fairly well. We're down to 80%, 81% on the fertilizer, and about 90% on the seeds. We're doing a very strong line of fertilizer at the moment because we're set to 65 kilograms, and this is the row that has a massive amount already in it. Don't think we're missing anything. No, we're on a good line here. So we should be able to get this in, and oh yeah, we'll have to go and get the trailer full of refills in a bit, and I'm hoping we've got enough fertilizer and enough seed to get these fields done. I am finding the variation on here for the nitrogen to be quite a challenge. It is dropping and raising all over the place. I think that's a side effect, as I was saying earlier, of having put a whole load of slurry on this field, and as a result it has made it very variable, and I think that it makes it more important that we eventually run over here with a more accurate fertilizer spreader, because you can see it's way over, and I keep adjusting it, and 50 seems to be actually a fairly good place to hold it, but at some points that's just way too low, and at other points it's way too high. So it's all over the place at the moment, this field. And you can see the result of that in the bottom left hand corner. The green has such variation after we've been over it, and that's because as we're not using the automatic adjustment, we're ending up with a very variable application of our nitrogen on here. One fortunate thing about this is that we are a few days ahead anyway. The sorghum needs to be planted over the next 4 days. So us being here and able to get this field done today would be a huge boost to that, because neither of our other two fields are as large as this one. So I'm looking really to have this field seeded, and if we're lucky, rolled today as well. If I can get those two things done, I'm going to be happy, but it is going to be doing a case of doing it field by field. We are slowly getting out of the red as well. The fishing area on the river once again coming to our rescue as it slowly whittles down that negative number. We're down to just minus £258 at the moment. So by lunchtime, I think we will probably be back in the black, although not by much. What I do need to do, though, in the middle of getting this planted today and another field planted tomorrow is going to be to get the weeds sorted on the spring wheat, which I talked about at the start. I mustn't forget that job. Our little 7810 is doing a bang-up job here with this. I really like this tractor on here. Because this is the turbo version, it's got a little bit of extra horsepower, and as a result, it easily manages to do this job. It's actually our most powerful tractor on the farm, which surprised me because I thought when I got the 8340, that was going to replace it as that. We have also come to almost perfect amount of fertilizer left at the end of this field. 1 liter in the tank is pretty spot on. So what I'm going to do is back this up to here, and we can bring the refill trailer down here and get this refilled. My biggest worry right now is a lack of seeds and fertilizer. Fertilizer, I think we're all right. You can see we've got about 2,000-ish liters on here. Seeds, though, we're down to like 290 liters of seeds. I don't think that's going to be enough, and so we are going to need a bit of money. As I mentioned, by midday, we are back in the black. It is £100 into the black now, which is great. And of course, as we go into the next day, there's going to be some daily costs, leasing of equipment and things, so that's going to go back down again. We do have an untapped resource. We have a lot of straw that we haven't sold. It's not the best time to sell straw at the moment, but we can get £80 per 1,000 litres for it right now, and that would give us enough to probably buy at least a bag of seeds, I think. So I think that's something to look into if we get desperate. At the moment, we have enough to keep going on this field. It's whether we have enough to keep going on the next field tomorrow and the day after, but we'll have to see how we go. I'm going to get the rest of these seeds in, though, because we've got all of the fertilizer in from that first bag. Let's see if we can get these seeds finished off too. So I've emptied the last of the seeds in. We've got a fair amount of fertilizer in there. I think that's still 1,000 liters there. Yes, 1,000 liter bag of fertilizer there. How full are we? We are 81% full on the seeds and 98% full on the fertilizer. That should be enough to get this field finished. I do worry about whether we've got enough, though, to get the rest of our sorghum planted. In fact, I pretty much know at this point we don't. We might have enough fertilizer to do it, depending on how well our coverage has been on the nitrogen. However, those are not enough seeds to finish this off. One thing that is concerning me a little bit at this point is that we are 20 past 1 in the afternoon and we haven't finished this field yet. Now, this is a 4.3 meter seeder, so it's slightly less wide than our rollers, which are 6 meters, and I'm hoping that the rollers also can go a little bit faster. If that's the case, we might get that job finished as well today. But this is taking a little bit longer than I had hoped, and I'm getting very worried about getting everything done today and falling behind. This is going to be tight. We might be okay if we can get this finished in the next hour and a half, sort of done by 3 o'clock. We might be all right, but time is a ticking and I am getting a little bit concerned about it. Oh, look at that. A brand new auction has come up for field 13 of all fields. 5 days. What is the current price for it? 44,000. Oh, man. We really want that field. That is going to be tough. We've somehow got to find the money to get that. We can borrow it. That should be fine. I don't think in 5 days there's any way we can raise the money otherwise. I think we'll keep a close eye on that and maybe try and get that. Yeah, field 13 is very much part of what I want to add to the farm. Final row, and I'm expecting this shower to be a fairly short one. So hopefully it will clear out and won't cause us too much problems. Are we still doing a full width? Oh no, it's just not quite wide enough here. So it's not going to be my final row. I'm going to have to overlap a little bit on the way back here. Damn, I was hoping that this was going to be just a full width down here. We'll overlap a little bit and then we'll come back and do this thin slither at the end. Having said that, yeah, we're all done and dusted otherwise on this field. And what I need to do now is get this rolled in. It's not yet 3 o'clock, so that is good news. So with the field seeded, what we want to do now is get it rolled. So I've got my 7610 here with the rollers on the back. And we're going to get this into the field. Now, last Tuesday night on Twitch, I was building my map of my dad's farm. And we're going over what I'd like to do for the starting equipment. And I think, seeing as you can set a map to require downloads when you set it up, I'd quite like to set it up so that it requires either this pack on PC or on console, the lizard version of these Fords, and set it up so that the tractor setup we have on the farm is as close to what we had for my dad's farm as possible. So a couple of these 7610s, a 7810 turbo, and a TX32 combine as well. Hopefully we'll be able to get it as close to the 90 setup we had there as I possibly can. So we're going 1 mile an hour slower than the seeder was, but we are not having to stop and maneuver at the ends. We're just turning straight round and coming back. We got more width on this. This is a 6-meter roller, so we're able to zoom through this fairly quickly. I'm not too worried about where we are. I mean, it is 20 to 5, and we may go into the evening a little bit, but I should get this job done today, which is great. Another great thing is we are up to £650. Now, what I do need to check and do want to check is exactly what we're leasing at the moment, because if there's anything we're leasing we can return that we're not using, I think this would be a really good time to get rid of things like that. So let's have a quick look. Got a few things leased. We got our truck, we got the mulcher, we could return that. The slurry tank we could return as well. The weeder we need. So there are a couple of things. The Land Rover and the truck, though, those are going to be the two things that are costing us the most. And they're two things that we actually need to keep hanging around. So I don't think we've got a lot of leeway with what we've got leased at the moment. The mulcher is the one thing that possibly would be a thing we could let go of. 47,141 is currently the highest bid for field 13. I'm hopeful we can get that for under 100,000, because I think we probably have the leeway in our loan setup at the moment to borrow the money and get that field. It's just past 5:30 and we are coming up to the halfway point of this field. I reckon we're looking at probably about 7:30 p.m. before this field gets rolled, but you stay out of the field to get the job done if you need to get the job done. Good news is, though, we have £829 from today's taking at the river. So I am probably going to quickly grab a bag of seeds while we can. And that way we'll have plenty of seeds going into tomorrow and possibly the next day. I don't know if it'll be enough to get both fields done. Certainly should be enough to get one field done, though. And that's all we need at the moment. We're coming up to 7 in the evening and we've got about a third of the field left to go. But not much more to do here other than keep rolling. So I'm going to keep rolling into the evening and we'll get this field done. It means that next time we will have to start with the weeding because we need to get those weeds sorted. And I think I'm going to plant field 3. Field 3 does not have a huge amount to it. So we should be able to get that planted and rolled before the end of the day, with having to spend some time doing the weeding as well. And then that just leaves 2A to do at the beginning of May. Today, we're going to be sorting out the wheat in field 1, which we need to do. And then we're going to move on and get the sorghum sorted and seeded into field 3. Hopefully keeping us nicely on track. If we can then get that rolled in today as well, that would be great. And in fact, we need to get that rolled in today. We still have a negative number in our amount of money we have, and so we can't hire anybody, so we're still doing all of this work ourselves, but that's not too big a problem. As I said last time, it's quite nice to be doing these jobs myself and getting all of this done that way. Gives me a much bigger feeling of hands-on on the farm and should work out fairly well for us in the long run. We do still have to work out though how we're going to raise the money for field 13. I'm still erring very much on we're going to have to increase our loan a bit to get it. I think that makes sense, and it's a proper investment to get that amount of money. So we'll be watching that for the next 4 days. I think it's 4 days and 6 hours left on that auction. So I want to keep my eye on that and make sure it's well within what we can go for it with. I'm actually thinking it probably will be. It's not going up incredibly fast, and if it stays below 100,000, I think it's going to be very much within reach for us. Thankfully, we're having a much more positive result in this field than we were having in the other 2 wheat fields. The weeds have not been allowed to grow very high in here, and as a result we are zipping through them and clearing them out really easily with this hoe. This is a fantastic piece of kit, and I'm still kicking myself that one of these came up for sale secondhand a few months ago and we forgot to buy it. We had the money at the time, everything was there, and it was all aligned, and I even noted at the end of the day's recording when I first saw it come up that I wanted to buy it the next episode, and then completely forgot when I came to record the next one. Didn't even check the shop, and it would have been absolutely perfect to have one of these on the farm that we owned. So we're still sticking with this leased one at the moment, and we will eventually buy it when we've got enough hours on it to make it worth our while to purchase it. We will do, or we might just purchase it outright after this year's harvest. If we're adding 2 large fields to our farm this year, then I think our harvest income, as long as we can get everything harvested, which we should be able to with 2 combines, we should end up with a really good income this year. And that should round things off nicely as far as getting our loan paid off and buying any equipment that we want to continue forward with. As I said, great piece of kit, this hoe. It's made short work of this field. We are almost done by about 10 o'clock. We've got a single row to go, but it's tackled all these weeds really, really easily. Great hoe this. I should point out the reason why we need a hoe on here, in case you've not seen the previous episodes, is that we're using a direct seeder on here, and direct seeders immediately give you the second level of weeds. Completely skip the first level of weeds on a field, so you end up having to use a hoe instead of a standard weeder if you're handling it that way. Because we're using less modern equipment on here, we don't have access to the spot sprayer, as I mentioned a couple of videos ago. If we do get rid of the weeds in the winter weeds, we'll be doing that with just straight on herbicide spraying rather than using a spot sprayer, because I'm trying to keep it a little bit more era specific to the equipment we're using on here. And that kind of makes sense to me a little bit. Plus, limited funds, having a spot sprayer seems to be something that is a little bit overkill for, well, the money that we have. It's almost as much as an entire sprayer to add the spot sprayer add-on onto it. A bit like the reason why we've not got GPS on any of our tractors, because it's one of those expenses that we could almost buy a new tractor with. And a new tractor, I think, is something that's more useful to us than GPS on a single tractor. That is the tow hitch for the seeder that I've just picked up. I've left it at that field and I need to get it back to the yard because it's only really useful if we're taking the seeder down to field 6. At the moment, everywhere else on the farm is accessible without having to use the tow hitch, so I'm going to just bring it back to the main farm. The only reason it was down there was because the seeder was already folded up when we started doing that field. So let's bring this back around here. We'll park up the hitch. Oh, actually, yeah, the seeder's out there. So we'll park the hitch up over here. And then I'm just going to leave this tractor in our main shed. Because next month, May, we're going to have to go and get this hoe on all of the sorghum fields we're currently planting. In the meantime, though, we need to get the sorghum planted. And hopefully, we still have enough seed to get field 3 done. So how much seed do we have in here? We've got half a tank of seed and pretty much half a tank of fertilizer. Field 3, thankfully, is fairly small. We've got a very odd field here as far as what we want to put in our amount of fertilizer. I'm going to leave it at 60 because on loam it's very low, but on the silty clay at the far end of the field that will be considered high, and we're going to try and get this seeded. So up to 2H and away with our 7810, which has enough power and it's enough repair and enough fuel to get this field done. I think this is a great field to do today because it's not very big and we should be able to get it done without too much fuss and get it rolled before the end of the day. Some parts of this field have a lot of nitrogen in them. They did really, really well from the slurry that we put on here. However, does mean that they are over fertilized because of the standard rate that we're putting across the field. Some of them are some very dark green patches. Thankfully, I don't think that causes us a drop in yield at all. I think very much it's if we have less yield than we need, then that causes a problem. I have managed to miss a stretch through the middle of the field there, and I'll have to go back and redo that in a moment. But in general, we've been doing fairly well across this field, and as I said, we're looking at fairly green on the nitrogen across most of it. I think any top up we have to do on this field is going to be minor and is going to require very little nitrogen, very little solid fertilizer or liquid fertilizer if we go that route to do it. So I am I'm fairly happy with how the seeding on here is going. Also, we're only down to 40% on the sorghum, so we have plenty of seed going forwards, and we should make it out of the seeding on here at the very least without having to buy more seed. Whether we make it through field 2B without having to do that as well, I think that is less certain, but certainly this field here we're going to have plenty of seed to get it finished. On to the fiddly bit at the end of the field. Oh, and we've run out of fertilizer. So I need to get that refilled quickly. Let's pop this open. And thankfully, fertilizer is something that we actually have. So we should be able to get the bag of this into our seeder and done. And updated. And we can go through our new path near the farmhouse. So down the side of the house here, and then there's a nice little path down through here that takes us to the top end of the field here. Won't be able to get the seeder through that, interestingly. The trees are too narrow through that, but we'll take the fertilizer, and we should be able to put all of this big bag into here. And then whatever we've got in this seeder, that is what we have to do field 2A with tomorrow, which is gonna be quite an interesting thing, as we have used we haven't even used half of our fertilizer, sorry, half of our seeds on here, which is very good news because 2A is completely loam, but we have got through all of that fertilizer. So very, very interesting. I'm hoping that we're gonna be okay. Fertilizer is pretty expensive to get rather than the seed, so I don't know how well this is gonna turn out. Just a small section to finish off at the top of the field here, and that will then be this done and dusted, and we can go and grab our roller then and get this field rolled. And hell, it's only 20 to 2 in the afternoon. I think we're looking at being in a fairly good position for getting this all done today. I'm quite happy with that. That is really good news, because it means that we're going to get all this finished. Will my trailer or will my seeder fit through here? It is quite wide, and this is not the widest of roads. Although, actually, no, we're fine. That goes through there absolutely okay. Final one of our 3 jobs we need to get done today then is the rolling of this field. Should be a fairly easy job to get done. We've got more time to get this smaller field done today than we had for the larger 12B the previous day, so I'm not expecting us to have to go into the evening this time to get this job done. We may even finish by 5 o'clock, which would be really, really good turn up for the books. And that means the next month through May, all we have to worry about is getting that last sorghum field seeded and rolled, and the 2 that we currently have got done over these 2 days weeded. One thing I noticed between doing a series where I'm using GPS and a series like this where we're not using GPS, purposefully not using GPS, is that I have to make so many small adjustments when not using GPS. Even if I'm on the right compass point, even if I'm at 90 degrees, the tractor is still undulating and moving about when I'm going across the field. Whereas with GPS, it sticks exactly on that line. No matter how much the tractor moves a little bit, it stays very much on it. So I have to keep an eye here on it the whole time while I'm moving across. I can't just set it on a direction and go like you do with GPS. It is very much, okay, this is roughly the direction I want to go, and now I've stuck it on it. Is it going to actually stay on it? And if not, what is the angle we've got? So we've come on here at 270, and if you look at the bottom left hand corner, that is moving a fair amount, especially as we speed up. It starts to move around a lot more. And so what I'm actually using to target myself, rather than the compass down in that bottom left, I'm using the lines on the field we've got here. So as they go roughly as they go exactly, in fact, where I want to go, it's very easy for me to point the line down the nose of the bonnet on this 7610 and go, right, stick that in one of the seeding lines, and away we go. And that tends to keep me on a better track going down the field than trying to keep the compass point on exactly the degrees that I think it should be on, because it just allows you to very quickly, and in fact much quicker than with the compass, see those small adjustments you need to make, and make them in time for it not to become a problem. I'm back to the fiddly bit at the top end of the field, and I've realized I don't actually know what field 13 has in it as a crop, whether it's even planted with anything. I'm hoping it is, and I'm hoping that whatever's planted in there will be harvestable at that point later in the year when we are potentially going to be purchasing it. But I think in a moment we'll go and check that, just see exactly what's in there. This field though is pretty much done. Ooh, wow, that's struggling up that hill a little bit. Come on, little tractor, there you go. Up that slight incline. We've had to drop it down to gear 1 high, back up to 2H for downhill, and then we've got a little bit at the end of the field here that we're going to have to clear up. But yeah, what have we got in field 13? Is that going to make us a big profit? Is that going to be something that we're going to have to get a new header or even an entire new harvester for? We will have to find that out fairly quickly. I think it will factor definitely into our plans. So let's have a quick look. Field 13 currently has in it, is that corn? Or is that sunflowers? Okay. Either way, we're going to need a different header to the headers we currently have on the farm. That will make us a decent amount of money, though, as sunflowers. Really, really will. And would be absolutely great. Current price, I don't know what it is. We might just drive down there quickly and have a look. I'm also intrigued to see if I can bid on it while I don't have the money. Whether that's something I then suddenly have to find the money for later on. So let's go put this tractor. I was going to clean it, but I think we've got at least 2 more months of this. No, in fact, we should clean it. It'll help keep our maintenance costs down. So I'll take this over here. We'll get this washed before the next day. But I want to take a quick trip down here to field 13 and just check on the status of it. Oh, wow. Look at those rocks. Look at those stones. This is gonna need a stone picker on it after the first harvest. We press B though. Yeah, there we go. Your farm does not have enough money to place a bid. So we are going to have to borrow a load of money when we want to place a bid. At the moment we can't. I think the top bid is like 47,000 to get that field. I think we're going to need probably about 60 to 70,000 by the end of the 5-day auction. But that is everything done on our farm today. We are nicely in position to pick up next time. So for now, I'm going to leave this here. So all that remains is for me to say
thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Special thanks to all my patrons and channel members. Your support is invaluable in making these videos and helping the channel to grow. For more from Virtual Farmer, check out the links below. Follow on Twitch to watch live, and for more videos, subscribe and ring that bell. I will see you next time. Goodbye.